So there was unfortunate news out of Buckingham Palace yesterday. King Charles III, 75 years old, has been diagnosed with cancer. Will be avoiding public events after being advised by his doctors to minimize in-person contacts. The announcement marks a striking departure from the past when monarchs' ailments were often hidden from the public, according to royal experts. So the statement said during the King's recent hospital procedure for benign prostate enlargement, a separate issue of concern was noted, and subsequent diagnostic tests have identified a form of cancer. The statement also did not specify what stage the cancer was found. Separately, Buckingham Palace said that Charles does not have prostate cancer, even though they were, looking at his prostate.
So the official word, I was reading the Daily Mail this morning, and they say they're saying the prognosis is positive. Now, they would probably say that anyway, but I hope that's the case. If you stop and think about it, all these years that he waited, not that he was wishing ill on his own, mother, but he becomes king, and now he has
cancer. Shortly into this, he gets a cancer diagnosis. The news comes a week after both Kate and King Charles were discharged from a private London clinic after medical procedures. The king underwent a corrective procedure for an enlarged prostate, while Kate had unspecified abdominal surgery. That was back on January 17th. The statement added, His Majesty has today commenced a schedule of regular treatments, during which time he has been advised by doctors to postpone public-facing duties. According to the statement, the king wanted to share his diagnosis in part to avoid speculation on his condition, but also, quote, in the hope that it may assist public understanding for all those around the world who are affected by cancer.
And isn't Sarah Ferguson is battling skin cancer?
I'm not sure.
Yeah, I think she has skin cancer.
No further details are being shared about his treatment or prognosis, a palace spokesperson said, but the king returned to London on Monday to begin outpatient care. A royal biographer named Sarah Gristwood, she's also a historian, said that it was striking that the diagnosis was announced at all, given the royal family's history of trying to keep any sign of ordinary human fallibility behind closed doors.
They've gotten much more candid. You remember recently, it would be like, Her Majesty had a rather difficult bowel movement.
When Charles's grandfather, George VI, was very gravely ill, the severity of his condition was kept not only from public, but from the patient himself.
Could you imagine that?
And she said those were he died in 1952. She said
they let him know then.
Those were the attitudes of the time. Happily, things have now changed. So,
Reginald, am I deceased? Yes, you are.
I was looking at the succession and how that works out. And so William is next, and then his three kids, and then Harry.
Yeah.
So
they rearranged it.
Oh, did they?
Yes.
Yeah. And also that happened under Queen Elizabeth because if you were a female heir, you would be ranked underneath a male heir.
Right.
So William has daughters, and they are now ahead of Harry.
Nick, they were so upset with Harry, they actually moved Rowan Atkinson into a position above him.
No, Mr. Bean?
Mr. Bean.
Everybody likes that guy.
I mean, he's beloved internationally as well.
Rowan Atkinson?
Yes.
Wow. Really?
So this was scary, but Mike, the situation, Sorrentino, we go straight from the monarchy
to our own royalty.
Our
own royal family, the Jersey Shore family.
No, he shared...
Ladies and gentlemen, Snooker.
No, he shared a video showing a scary moment where his 2-year-old son, Romeo, was choking on pasta.
Man.
So I have no kids, but I know I in this video you can sense every fear I think a parent would ever have, and he rose to the challenge.
Casey and I both have administered the Heimlich on our own kids, and it is terrifying. It is
even when they just terrifying. Like for 1 second, it gets caught, you're like, everyone jumps.
Oh, man.
And that's what you see in this video. I don't know if I saw the right video or not, because at the end I was like, are they serious? Like, they just walked away and left the kid in the middle of the room.
I saw the one where he was hunched over and he was...
Yeah. And then when they're done,
him on the back.
And the kid... And did she put something over his face?
Yeah,
Is
so
that,
it's an anti-choking device.
Yeah.
You've seen those things that use air pressure.
I didn't know exactly what it was.
Yeah.
Oh, they're all the rage now.
Yeah, I need to get one. You need to have one. Now, who knows when and where you're going to be choking, but having one, where you eat regularly, probably a pretty good idea.
It's kind of a fun party toy.
That too.
Yeah.
I actually probably should have one in my car because I eat in my car alone. I actually was eating in my car alone on Friday, was it? And I kind of choked a little bit.
Casey,
I'm like, man.
I think that's a smart idea. I mounted mine on the steering wheel.
Yeah.
Just in case.
Very, very smart.
Yeah.
No, but I mean, as it happened, there was a lady who was walking past me. I'm like, if I were actually choking right now, would I be able to get out of the car, motion to this woman that I'm choking?
You're exactly right.
Yeah.
I remember when I was we talk about the cheese on the French onion soup.
Yeah.
Had I been alone, you know, I mean, I managed to wrangle it out myself, but no, I think the panic of being alone would make it 1,000 times worse.
Yes, choking is horrifying. It's very scary. Hold on. You have to watch this video. After the kid's done choking, they take care of him. They literally both walk in different directions and leave him there. Like,
Really?
if it was my kid, I would have picked
You
him
don't know
up
what
and
you
like
would
hugged
do.
him. Are you okay? I do know what I would do. I would pick him up, hugged him, said, "Are you okay?" Made sure the kid was okay. They both walk away from him and leave him standing in the middle of the kitchen.
I know how when I passed out, you were Johnny on the spot.
Oh, my God.
And you went down to see if you had an appearance that night.
Went down the hall to check with sales. And see if
So I
she
have
had
no
a
doubt you'd be right there.
You don't know what you would do.
I do know what I would do. Why are you telling me I don't know what I would do?
Because
I have
I've
a
been in-
child that
'Cause
has,
it's panic.
that has choked before. Of course I know what I would do.
Well,
I jumped up.
you
I
hope you
made
would.
sure he was okay. What do you mean? It happened to me.
Oh, it did?
Oh.
Yes,
Okay.
Jace was
When?
choking on steak. I didn't do the Heimlich, but he was choking.
Oh.
You didn't do the G-spot.
I didn't leave him as soon as the steak came out and go, all right, I'm going to sit back down and have dinner.
Did he cough it up himself?
He coughed it up himself.
God.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember when after Carter choked, he just flood of emotion. He just cried like crazy.
God,
it was
Yeah.
he was
terrifying.
scared to death.
That's what- yeah.
Literally scared to death.
Same.
You
Jace
think you're gonna
got
die.
very emotional, very upset. It was like the end of dinner. I sat with him to make sure he was okay. So, yes, I find this a little odd that they both went their separate ways and left the kid in the kitchen.
So the video shows the Sorrentino family having dinner at the table when suddenly Romeo starts coughing. Of course, Mike, and his wife, Lauren, immediately move towards their son to provide aid. When Romeo hunches over, Sorrentino springs into action by lifting and patting him on the back in an attempt to dislodge the pasta from his son's airway. And apparently he had said that he didn't want to hit him too hard.
Yeah.
Because he thought, that might cause it to go further down.
So in a case like that, with a small kid, what do they recommend you do?
So if it's a baby,
Right.
if it's a small enough child, you lay them on your forearm with their
Right.
chest on your forearm and lean them down so their head is down, and you strike their back.
And Steve, that's
resting
if
them on the
there's-
edge of the arm, right?
Yeah, on your arm, and then you strike their back.
Okay.
You're
And that's
supposed
if
to do
there's
that.
no air. Like, that's if they're now
Not
like,
breathing.
Not breathing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
And then otherwise, what would you grab them by their feet and
Yeah,
Swing around.
spin around.
No, you spin in circles.
Yeah, spin in circles. No, but in Carter's case, and I remember this. I don't know. Maybe we'll talk about this later. But when I went to do the Heimlich and do the tug on the diaphragm.
Right.
I did it a couple times and nothing happened, and I was like,
You're
oh,
panicking.
God.
I'm like, okay, I have to do this really, really hard,
Yeah.
and I essentially punched him really hard in the gut with my. I went away from his
Oh
his
my
stomach,
God.
and I just went bang like that,
And that's when it dislodged.
popped out. you
Wow.
know?
Wow.
That's terrifying. So.
Same with you, Case?
Yep.
Yeah.
So they jumped into action, and the couple eventually were able to save their son. She had went to grab the anti-choking device. Now I don't know what actually.
It's called the dechoker.
Okay.
The dechoker. I'm not quite sure how I pronounce it, but anyway, Preston, in the original post with the video, Sorrentino, Mike himself actually says we used this device. So
All right.
it's a bit of a tacit endorsement of it.
I didn't know about it. I guess we have to go.
I am the situation. Your kid's choking, you need some quickly. And you just can't F around because she's a freaking kid, and you got people at Cactus and you just walk away. And because she looks at the 10 seconds of the video.
Now get the dechoker fully.
I totally
spotted.
commend it.
But-
I recommend it.
So he said, I am so proud of how my wife and I didn't panic, didn't hesitate, and eventually dislodged the food, which was blocking the airway
I
and saved
have
his
one of
life.
them.
You do?
You do?
I have one.
Did Dennis just text you and say we have one?
No,
or what?
I'm looking at the picture on. I went to Amazon and I'm looking at a picture of it. I have one. It's in my garage.
Oh.
Should probably move it to the kitchen.
Yeah, you might want to put that in the kitchen.
Yeah. I bought one.
Don't worry, guys, I got
I
one.
bought it when they first came out. I don't know where it is.
He wrote that it is safe to say we are now taking CPR lessons, and Romeo won't be having any gnocchi or genicetti. anytime soon. We're getting a bunch of calls. Maybe we'll come back to this later on.
Maybe we'll make a kid choke on purpose and see if we can.
Is that what we'll do?
That's what we'll do.
All right. So, Steve, I was bummed out. You saw, and I didn't even see this viral video back in the day, but a local celebrity passed away. Nora the piano cat.
Yeah.
One of Philadelphia's first viral animal stars has died. She was 19 years old.
19?
Good run. Really good
length for a cat. Nora's owners, Betsy Alexander and Bernell Yao, wrote on social media, "We are so grateful to have had nearly 20 years with this beautiful and talented feline. Over the years, Nora received thousands of messages of love from you, her fans and admirers. We thank you all." Rescued from the streets of Camden as a kitten in 2004, Nora went viral in 2007 after Alexander and Yao uploaded a video to YouTube of her plinking out notes on the piano at their Philadelphia home. It quickly went viral, garnered millions of views, and prompting Nora to be featured on television, including The Today Show, Late Night with Conan O'Brien, and Animal Planet.
So cool.
And so I went and watched a few of the videos, and it's hypnotic. You just don't want to stop watching it. The cat, it's not the video of the cat where somebody is moving the arms up and down, which is hilarious, by the way.
Yeah. But
But this one, the cat is actually just kind of planking at the keys on his own and likes it. Sits there and likes the sounds. And the guy, Yao, I guess, or one of the couple is a piano teacher, so they have two keyboards side by side, and they have videos of the students playing and the cat playing along with them.
It's so cute.
It's really cute. So Nora's playing also inspired Lithuanian composer Mindaugas Piasatis to compose a chamber orchestra piece known as Concerto, which was first performed in 2009. And Nora was named the ASPCA's Cat of the Year that year.
When you have cats and they'll get that look like you're watching some of the video, it is cute.
Yeah.
Steve, you had a lot of cats over the years. What's the oldest cat you ever had?
So the original Hubert, we have Hubert 2.0 right now, lived to 20 and a half, almost 21.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. My mom had a cat named Emma before I was born, and Emma lived to about 22 or 23.
Yeah.
And she was around my entire life. It was one of those things. It was just
Michelle
incredible.
And our two cats lived to 20 and 22.
It's amazing.
It was unbelievable.
When they get to be that age, they're basically, fabric attached to sticks.
Yeah.
But I mean,
it's sad.
But the truth of the matter is that, they'll surprise you sometime and get a good long run like that. On average, we average about 17, 18 years.
Okay, yeah. Emma did that thing where she just wandered off at the end of her life, and we never saw her again. She did. Sometimes cats do that.
Don't come looking for me. I've loved you all.
That was sad to see about Nora, but
I emailed each of you.
Wanted to pass that along. Hey, this is kind of fun. So Coleman Domingo, an actor. This is an interesting story. He's from Euphoria. He and his husband Raul Domingo shared a story about how they met. They were on the Graham Norton show. And he said, "You're in Berkeley, California in 2005. You're minding your business, going to Walgreens." He said, the Color Purple actor explained that he was at the drugstore to pick up a mask when he saw, quote, "a beautiful man with hair down to there and a lip piercing." Domingo said the pair looked at each other outside the Walgreens. As Raul walked away, he keeps looking back and I waved, but he just kept going. And then I was dumbfounded. 3 days later, now mind you, this is in 2005. The Rustin actor went to missed connections section on Craigslist.
Isn't that wild?
To post an ad for him, but instead he found that Raul had already posted one for him. And he said he placed an ad for me about 2 hours before I jumped up, and I was like, "Are you kidding me? That's me." He described me with my faux hawk. It was 2005, and they've been together for almost 19 years. I didn't think any people actually ever met on the missed connections thing,
I just thought it was a place for sexual predators.
Has anybody seen that Rustin movie?
No.
I really want to. It has a lot of local ties, including the high school in Westchester named after it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
The singing
No, Rustin is a public high school in Westchester.
but was it about a group of kids at
it's a John Legend
the
movie,
music?
right?
No.
I'm thinking of something
You're
different.
thinking of that's a documentary. This is a drama.
Oh, okay. then. I am way off.
It's the one where Alec Baldwin shot the.
That's Rust.
Right. Okay.
All right. So I wanted to mention this. So at a Grammy Awards viewing party on Sunday night, Kelly Rizzo.
I want to fight you.
Not that Rizzo.
Okay.
I don't want to talk to you.
Okay. Kelly.
I don't want to fight you and talk to you.
Kelly Rizzo revealed that she is dating Clueless actor Breckin Meyer. So this is Bob Saget's wife, a widow.
Yeah.
And so she's dating Breckin Meyer now.
And
Just me.
that's awesome. We love Breckin Meyer.
By the way, it was 2 years ago that Bob died. I can't believe it. It just seemed like we were talking about it being a year ago.
Yeah.
Like a couple weeks ago, but it's been 2 years. And she said it took Rizzo, or she said it took a while. Rizzo said it took a while. Or he said, I want to fight you. I don't know. One of the others, but
I want to fight you. By myself, I'll take you physically.
I want to date you.
she said it took to get to the point where I'm like, okay, I think he'd be happy with it. She said it took a while to get to that point.
I can completely understand that. My heart goes out to her.
Yes.
She clearly loved him. And, Bob Saget would want nothing more than for her to be happy. Breckin's kind of aging nicely into his more mature look.
Yeah, I haven't seen him in anything in quite a while, unless I'm just missing out on it, right?
We used to, you were doing, what were you playing? Words with Friends?
Words with Friends, him
Right.
and Mark Paul Gosselaar for a while there.
And you think he would respond to any these days? Or
probably not. I don't even remember what his username was. I don't play Words with Friends anymore.
But he was a friend of the show.
Yeah.
All right, this was interesting. So, Food Network star Ina Garten, she's great. The Barefoot Contessa. I don't watch it that much anymore, but when I was watching Food Network pretty regularly because I like to cook, she's great, man. Her recipes are fantastic.
She's a bit of a looker, right?
No.
She's not?
No.
Who am I thinking of?
Nigella Lawson.
There we
That's who you're
go.
thinking of.
Yeah.
No, Ina Garten is an older woman.
A beast?
No, she's not a beast, but she's
a pig.
She's cute,
Oh,
but
okay.
she's no. But she's planning to release her memoir on October 14th. There's something interesting I didn't know about her, which comes up in this. But she said, by finding a way to do what I love for a living, cooking, I've been fortunate to build a career that has not only been incredibly rewarding, but brought people together through the power of home cooking. I hope my book will inspire readers to find their unique story. But here's what I didn't know about her. She was a nuclear budget analyst for the White House under the Ford and Carter administrations before she got the urge to do something else. And now
It's like the Brie Larson series.
She's insanely popular on Food Network. She's by far one of their top chefs.
Wow, what an accomplished woman.
Yep, absolutely. And like I said, I use her recipes pretty regularly.
Do you use her nuclear recipes as well, or
nothing
no? Okay.
with a half life of more than 30 years.
Right.
No.
These muffins these muffins will be good to eat in 20,000 years.
Let's see. All right, Stevie sent me this video. This is kind of interesting. Paris Jackson made a striking appearance at the 2024 Grammys, but it was what didn't appear, which were her well-known tattoos that had fans really talking.
Did you guys see this?
What, all the tattoos were gone?
Yeah, and it's pretty amazing.
So she wore a black Celine dress designed with revealing cutouts, and while her dress made jaws drop, her tattoos were all missing. She's got a lot of them. She has over 80 tattoos.
Oh, geez.
And not one was in sight on the red carpet thanks to makeup brand Cover FX.
That's what okay.
We're looking at a picture of her right now. And she's showing a whole lot of skin, and she has almost like sleeve tattoos. She's got tons of them and stuff on her chest and all over. Yeah.
Wow. I mean, that's a lot of makeup. Also, how you would get through the night without something rubbing off.
Well, they explain the process in the article. It's actually like putting on coats and sealant and all that sort of stuff for that very reason that you didn't want the makeup rubbing off on everything you touch.
Yeah.
So she put a video out of how this all came about. So using all Cover FX products, Fontaine is the name of the makeup artist.
Okay.
He started with the gripping primer.
This is a gripping primer
to ensure the makeup really stuck to Jackson's skin.
It's going to stick to you.
I'm looking at her too. They're like dark tattoos.
Are you intrigued, Cassie?
Then he added a bit of the Power Play liquid foundation and followed with the Total Cover cream foundation for maximum coverage. Then he mixed in the Color Correct stick in flame to cut some of the darkness of the tattoo.
Look at Kathy, the video, the time-lapse video. The Army Corps of Engineers is working on her for this.
Coverage was set with the Pressed Mineral Foundation. opting for an actual powder foundation instead of the traditional setting powder to really lock in the liquids and creams.
Yes, would you like a chai tea?
And provided an additional layer of coverage. To complete the look, he finished with the high-performance setting spray to prevent the makeup from transferring and lasting all night. So he actually sprayed her with a sealant.
Like a sealant.
I know, but I have that spray. It doesn't actually really work that great. Like that's why I understand everything he did, and he did extra layers of makeup. But I mean, he used, from what it sounds like, what you're saying, he used traditional makeup, and then yes, a setting spray, which whatever, maybe it works, maybe it doesn't. But I still, that's still pretty amazing that they could completely cover it and she could get through the night without something popping through.
They would. They have to do a follow-up video of all the people she came into contact with and the makeup smudges they had all over their.
Everyone looks like they're wearing the Shroud of Turin.
He couldn't hug anyone with a white dress on.
So yeah. Anyhow, there's a video out of how they did the whole thing.
Can you believe that's Michael Jackson's daughter?
I know.
I mean, she is. She's just a lovely woman.
She has like these haunting colored eyes.
Yes.
They're this pale green. They really pop.
Yeah, that's my sperm.
Yeah, so I guess so. Maybe. All right, two more quick things. According to the Hollywood Reporter, Wendy Williams is releasing a documentary about her life following the cancellation of her talk show 2 years ago.
I watched the trailer for this. It looks to be very sad.
She said, I have no money, and I'm going to tell you something. If it happens to me, it can happen to you. The 4.5-hour, two-part documentary promises to open the doors to her private life like never before, as cameras chronicled her comeback journey to reclaim her life and legacy despite facing health issues and personal turbulence.
Yeah, so she's like hollowed out in this documentary. And Wendy Williams, remember when we were being inducted into the National Radio Hall of Fame, she was a recipient from the year before, and rightfully so.
Yep.
But it's sad to see her this way.
How did she lose her money?
I don't know, and that's what I want to find out. That's what I'm curious about.
So all I know is that you remember it all began, I remember, in case we were talking about this, the footage of her in that Statue of Liberty outfit on her show, and she was wobbly and passed out, and she started to have all these issues.
But where the money thing happened,
I think, her husband at the time was carrying on. Remember that he had an affair with a woman living down here? The woman had a baby down here.
Yeah. Maybe he's tied in that. I don't know. One last thing, and this is what I said at the top about Stranger Things. I confused these two shows. Cobra Kai has started production on its 6th and final season, which I'm totally stoked about.
When was the last season?
Over a year and a half ago, I think.
Yeah.
It's been a long time. That's my guess. I'm not 100% sure, Steve, but it seemed like
a while.
Seems like that. Netflix announced the news Monday alongside a video featuring Ralph Macchio, William Zabka, and other cast members. Of course, that includes Courtney Hengler, Tanner Buchanan, Mary Mauser, Jacob Bertrand, Martin Cove, who we love, Peyton List, a whole bunch of people. And Buchanan, who plays Robbie Keane, says in the teaser, we've been very hard at work behind the scenes. And other cast members say it's a little bittersweet because it's the last season, but it's going to be the biggest, baddest season yet. And also Martin Cove, who plays John Kreese, promises lots of surprises in season 6. The creators, Josh Held, John Hurwitz, and Hayden Schlossberg, had announced that season 6 will be the show's last, and in November they said that the series finale will leave room for potential spin-offs in the future.
Who's the actor who played Blue Beetle? He's in this series as well, and he's very charismatic.
Zolo Mariduana.
That's him, correct? Yeah, and he plays Miguel on the show, and he's great. So I'm looking forward to that.
Isn't it incredible that movie came out in 1984? And I mean, and I'm not saying this in a negative way, but they're still milking it.
Yeah,
like there's stories to be told, and this franchise has been around forever.
The show is great.
It's fun.
Excellent. It's so well done.
I want to watch it. I want to find time to watch it. I watched a bit of it when it was on YouTube. But by the way, this is the show that rose from the ashes.
Yes.
It was gone, and
Steve,
then Netflix picked it up.
You'll love it because of the obvious jokes to the original and the way that how times have changed. But it's got a legitimate heart to it. It's wonderful.
I like that.
All right, let's do the clips now, please. Cole Sprouse plays an undead in the new film Lisa Frankenstein. And here the actor talks about preparing to play the creature.
He was a professional pianist. He had some experience fencing. He was a lover. He was a big romantic. He died young. His inability to speak was what really excited me just technically about playing Creature. And I knew it would be a heavy physical role, so I worked with a mime.
Lisa Frankenstein opens in theaters on Friday. Here's the next clip. Disney Plus is releasing a series of Pixar movies that they sent straight to streaming during COVID. This week, Turning Red will hit theaters, and star Sandra Oh talks about the emotional language that the movie provides.
I was so emotional as a child, and I think my mother didn't know what to do with it. You know, obviously I became an actor, so that was a very, constructive thing. But I think, something like this not even as a guy, just an example to say, if you're having too big of emotions, are you having a big panda? Are you pandaing out? Are you turning into your big red panda? That's something that I wish I had.
Yeah!
It's a great movie.
I liked it a lot.
It's a lot of fun.
I thought it was it's probably one of the few in recent memory that captures the old Pixar magic, I think.
Yeah. And it covers puberty and girls having their first period and stuff like that. And it does it in a really unique, fun way.
It's funny, too.
Turning Red opens this Friday, by the way. And there you go. That's what I have in our entertainment report for you this morning. Beautiful day today. It's looking like lots of sunshine. We have some stuff going on. We're going to have comedian Kelsey Cook on the program today, and our buddy Steven Singer is popping in. I'm sure he'll bring some stuff for you to win.
Yeah.
And we'll see about all that.
Piccalilli.
And Piccalilli will be here too, and we're right on the edge of the Soup Bowl, friends. So we're going to take a quick break. We'll do some Galentine's Day invites as well. Hang out for a bit. We'll be right back.
And that's your traffic on 93.3 WMMR.
Thank you, Kathy. So we we were talking a little bit about in the entertainment report about Mike, the situation, Sorrentino, Jersey Shore.
Yes.
He and his wife were with their kids, and their 2-year-old son started choking. He was eating pasta and started choking. And they have video of this because they have a camera inside the house.
Inside, yeah.
And they started panicking because they realized the kid is choking. Mike goes over and grabs the 2-year-old and starts to pat him on the back. He starts to lean him forward and try to strike him on the back, which is what you're supposed to do with a younger child. And then the wife goes over and gets one of these anti-choking devices. It was called the D-Choker. I guess I'm not sure if it's the brand they use or not. Was it
the Auto Suck?
And the Auto Suck, and used it on the kid and got it out.
Yeah.
We started getting some calls when we were talking about it earlier, and Kathy said she needed to get one and then realized she already has one.
I have one.
Yeah.
The device, the one that I purchased goes over the mouth.
And there's almost like a little
mask.
like accordion thing, I guess, that goes on the end of it.
Yeah, and you pull it, right? And that
sucks it. It
draws all the air out
yeah.
and everything comes out. So we were starting to get some calls. Let's take those. 215-263-WMMR. Because I've thought about getting one of those. And I actually wrote it down one time, order one of these. And I never got around to doing it.
The question with sometimes the thing with things like this is you get it and like, where do you put it? Where do you keep it?
Yes.
So like I bought.
And then remember where it is.
So I bought those blankets for the kitchen that you throw over a fire.
Yes. Oh yeah.
And I'm like, I got to install it on the, I was going to curse, wall.
Yeah.
So it's right there.
Yes.
So I can pull the thing down and just go right for it. I found it in like the garage. It's of no use there.
Totally. I had it was like there was smoke or something like that in the kitchen, I remember, and I'm going, fire extinguisher.
Right.
Where is it?
Oh my God, where is the fire extinguisher?
It's next to my Auto Suck.
Yeah. And I realized I have no idea where the hell that thing is. I eventually found it in the pantry, but I didn't know it was there.
I have a ladder upstairs, so if there's ever a fire, we can get out. But
Me too.
I do, I think about it, I'm like, okay, I would run to Jace's room, I would get the ladder, I would throw it out this window, and that's how we would get out. So that one I think about. But yeah, same thing. I have a fire extinguisher. Rodney accused me of keeping it in the basement because it doesn't look nice, but it is actually upstairs in the kitchen, Rodney.
There you go.
Marissa found the audio of his son choking.
Okay.
And so let's hear this. It's probably not very good because it's security footage, video, audio, but here we go.
It's too high. It's okay. Cough it up.
You can hear him coughing.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
What happened?
That's terrifying.
Just stop. Oh, he's choking. He's choking. Help him. You need this thing? Honey, where is it?
Well, she's staying pretty calm.
Yeah.
Well, you see her too when she walks over to go get the thing. She looks calm.
Okay, there's more.
I'm scared. It's okay, as long as he's making noise, he's not choking. Oh my God.
I guess that's one of the other kids crying.
God, he's.
That's after they do it, yeah.
Wow, he got real quiet.
Oh my God, that scares the hell out of me hearing that.
It's terrifying.
That's awful.
Oh my God. Wow. Yeah, I remember when Carter was choking on steak. We didn't know. We couldn't tell. He was just kind of looking confused.
What happened?
And then he ran over to the sink to get a drink of water because I guess sometimes if you're coughing, people say, "Do you need a drink of water?" And he thought that water would do it. And I realized he is not breathing. And then I gave him the Heimlich maneuver, and it popped out.
So when I used to have this achalasia, which was this issue occasionally with swallowing, and so that is a very upsetting feeling. But obviously, having something more pronounced like this, like we said before, the cheese with the French onion soup or anything when it gets large, your first inclination is I'm going to wash it down.
Yeah,
I wonder. If that is the right first inclination, what you do.
I was choking once on spaghetti. Now, I don't know if I was actually choking because could that, block the airway or did it just feel like that because it was, it was long? But I stuck my hand in my mouth and I pulled it out. And I remember just having to stay calm and pull it out of my throat.
Kathy,
but was by myself.
I was at a restaurant with the French onion soup, and I just quickly got up and went to the bathroom, and I was able to with the two fingers start to pull it out. It was basically like a club magician. Dun, 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 dun. Yeah, literally pulling out the cheese, and I got it out.
I've done that with the exact same thing. French onion soup, that Gruyere cheese.
Oh my God!
And you're just going, when is this going to finish,
dude? And I love French onion soup, and I'll get the cheese, but I will knife and fork that.
Yep. It's a good idea. But I'm curious if anybody has used these de-chokers before. 215-263-WMMR. We have some other calls on the line though. Let me go to Tom here, a CPR instructor. Hi, Tom. You're on the air. Good morning.
Hey, how you doing? Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning to see you. What's up, bud?
So I just wanted to say, I heard you guys talking. Preston, you were correct with the back blows is what we're calling them. You would hold the baby head down towards the ground.
Yes.
Give 5 black blows between the shoulders. Then you have to flip them over and do 5 chest compressions.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, because you're working that item up.
Okay.
All right, so that's one of the things you're going to do. But you're going to have the baby's head pointing down towards the ground. You're using gravity as your friend.
Right.
So Tom, in this case, we tend to panic. We're not thinking about the best course of action. You're always the goal is always to get it up rather than to force it down. Correct?
Exactly. So when you're saying that finger, putting your hand in there,
right?
Absolutely, never ever blind sweep anybody, a child, adult, nobody.
Okay.
Only stick your fingers in that mouth when you are 100% confident that when you look in there, you go, I can get that item out.
Okay.
And that's the only time when you're 100% confident that you can pull it out.
Wow. All right. So if you see something and you think you can actually reach it, that's the only time you want to do that.
That's the only time you want to do that. You never want. It's called a blind sweep. You never want to stick your fingers in there because if it's starting to come up and you can see a little bit of it,
right,
you could push it back down.
Hey, you push it back down.
Yeah.
Tom, what do you think about these de-choking devices?
I think they're going to be pretty cool. I'm actually looking into it myself.
Okay.
And what I'm thinking, you're asking where you keep it. My mentality as a, instructor and so forth, I'm going to keep one in my car near my first aid kit.
Yep.
And one in my house.
Yeah, but where in your house? I guess in the kitchen.
Kitchen, right?
Yeah.
Hanging from.
Like, hey, you go get my first aid kit out of my car. If I'm with my wife or somebody, they know what my car looks like.
Right.
Keep it on a lazy Susan in the middle of the table.
Yeah, seriously. Hey, Tom, in the story, Preston was saying that they didn't want to hit the baby too hard because they weren't sure. How hard are those blows supposed to be to the back?
You're using the heel of your hand, and you're not burping this baby. You're saving this child's life. So, yes, you're going to pat, and you're going to do it hard. We call them back blows. They can be called back thrusts. Using the word blows and thrusts, you're thinking, I'm getting this item up before I lose this child's life.
Wow. Yeah,
Tom, I remember reading one time that you're never supposed to offer water to somebody who's choking, but I don't know if that's accurate or not.
No. Here's the thing. Kathy said something about I wasn't sure about choking. If you can talk, you are not choking.
Right.
You're not choking if you can go, help, I'm choking. The only time you're fully choking is when you're making weird sounds. You can't talk at all. You're not breathing, turning blue.
Right.
So that's it. When you're actually choking, you can't talk, you can't take any air in.
And so water is a terrible idea. Don't do it.
Terrible.
Okay, I suspected as much, and you're right. By the way, good way to know if you're able to speak, you're not choking.
Yeah.
You know.
You're not choking, but you might be. That person might be choking shortly. So at that point, you want to like help them cough it up.
Right.
Like, hey, coach them to cough it up. Give them some pats on the back. Because eventually they might actually be fully choking. Mm-hmm. And at that point, that's when you're going to go in and do what you know you got to do.
Yeah. Okay.
That's
Tom?
why I think everybody getting trained does help. Like, you may be in that situation. You're freaking out. But if you have any type of training in CPR, first aid, and AED use.
Okay. All right.
And be that person where you can calm down, even when it's your own family member.
And the device is relatively easy for a novice to use?
Yes, you put it on their face. It looks like an air mask that you would use for like giving someone breaths while you're doing CPR. Mm-hmm. And it's like a plunger.
Okay, excellent.
Thank you, appreciate it, Tom. Yeah, he talks about the training. I remember, Steve, when you passed out.
Yep.
The first one who ran over was Casey. Like he was setting up triage, man. He was assessing you and
credit Kathy though with seeing what her calendar had on it that evening with really helping.
I really helped,
knowing that there would be some income that evening.
Steve, I helped myself that day.
We help each other by helping ourselves. Casey,
I mean, honestly, though, if there was any work that really needed to be done, I wasn't going to be able to do it.
Well, you came over,
I came over, asked you what your name was.
Yeah, and I said Barsky.
Yeah, I was like, oh my God.
Get him help.
Big fan. Big fan.
We had a training here a few years ago. I think something happened. I want to say maybe Greg Monahan, was it somebody in his family or whatever, but he kind of created an event here, and a training, and we all went to it, and it was CPR.
I think we were the ones who started it, and I wasn't able to make it.
And I think you need to do brush-ups. I've done it before. Mm-hmm. I probably would benefit from doing it again. If they could do it right here.
Well, things have changed, and that's the thing. When I
change it.
Yeah. When I first learned CPR, it was 15 and 2. It was 15 chest compressions to 2 breaths. I don't even know what it is anymore.
I don't think
no breaths.
I don't think it's breaths.
Yeah, it's all chest compressions from what I understand.
It's 2 deep French kisses and a handy.
Okay.
Well,
I better practice.
I mean, that sounds good.
And a cheese curl. If someone is up to speed on CPR, please let us know. But I thought that a year or two ago that they'd said that no, just focus on the chest compressions, keep that blood pumping.
And and that was the other thing is, so you initially you would come over, you would survey the scene.
Right.
Okay, let me survey the scene, and that's the first thing you got to do. And then you were supposed to check the ABCs. It's not even the ABCs anymore. I think it's the BACs now. So ABCs.
No GVDA
No
anymore?
GVDAs. Yeah, that is way later. Once you've saved the life.
Once they're celebrating you being a hero.
ABCs is airway, breathing, and circulation.
So
it's a 30 to 2, 30 compressions. So there are breaths involved, but it's not as many.
Okay, don't listen to me then.
The notion of, again, mouth to mouth is no longer a thing, correct?
Well, that's what we're talking about, the breaths.
That is something. I thought they had... Okay.
I thought so too. I thought there was mainly just chest compressions. But the breathing.
We need to reset.
Yeah, we do.
We are
because I took CPR. It was probably a decade ago.
That's when they still tickled your anus.
And it was what Casey was saying. I think it was like, or maybe closer to Kathy. It was like 20 or 30 chest compressions, and then a couple of breaths, and then you go right back to it. And they also instructed us on what to say if there were other people around. Like, you need to designate someone. You look at, you don't just blanketly say, somebody call 911. You look to someone and say, you call 911.
All right, what's the number?
Exactly. You find an IED.
Right.
One of those
things that you get so you don't get pregnant?
Right. No, an IUD. Go find an IUD, right? No, an IUD is an explosive device.
Who has Benoit balls?
See,
don't listen to us. Hurry up and get a bomb.
You need to get a landmine and a mortar.
Oh my God.
This is the worst possible segment.
Most CPR certifications.
Someone get a ghillie suit.
This is the best segment.
Most CPR certifications are only valid for 2 years, so you have to re-up every 2 years.
Nick, you're thinking that this is
information.
Okay, yeah.
And this for entertainment, we're great.
This has never been an information.
Don't listen to us.
Defibrillator. That's what
someone get an IED.
Or a grenade. A grenade will work.
That would do it.
A Molotov cocktail, something inflammable. Now, we need to hide the evidence.
Flames would help.
Yeah.
Right.
We need to burn this body now.
Yeah. All evidence.
I'm not dead yet.
You will be.
We don't know what we're doing. You're going to die. Hold my hand.
All right, so
Actual information?
there's a little more.
Okay.
So it's 30-2 if there's two people. If you are by yourself, they did stop the breath. So it's just the chest compressions.
If you're by yourself,
Yeah.
okay.
So if you're saying if you're attending to someone and you're the only person you're attending to the person who's injured.
Just chest compressions.
Just chest compressions.
Yeah.
Why? Did they explain why?
I think I guess, well, I was going to say it would tire you out, but I guess the chest compressions, that's what tires you out,
Yeah,
no?
I assume so. It just keeps that constant blood pumping. Where if you have someone else who can do maybe the mouth to mouth while you're doing the compressions and stop, and then just keep, there's no pause.
One of the most
There's no
sobering
real
things
pause.
I ever saw, I literally watched a person just die at a Sixers game. They were across the arena, and I
That's
guess
a weird promotion.
It is a weird promotion, but only one person gets it,
Yeah.
But that person, I guess they were having a stroke or whatever. But
Oh, my God.
I mean, I couldn't. There was a whole game going on. I wasn't watching that. I was watching what was happening across the arena. But people had to take turns, because they were going at it for a while.
That I saw a case over the term, a long term, that resulted in the person being resuscitated.
Yeah.
This was a roadside thing. We were stuck in traffic. And I come on, I gotta.
I was in the ER one time, and they like you've seen in the movies, they wheeled in a gurney, and there was a guy on top of the person on the gurney as they were rolling him in, giving chest compressions, and the person was elderly, and they passed away. Unfortunately, I found out, but it was scary.
Do you want to hear something, Meta? I was in the hospital. They brought in a professional gurner on a gurney.
Wow.
Yeah, and
They're the people that make that weird
faces.
face. They take their teeth out, and their bottom lip comes up over their nose.
We've got
I
a
know what I'm
champion
talking
here.
about. Yeah. Hang on. Tom is a CPR instructor. Is it the same one from a moment ago?
Yeah, same guy.
Tim, he's back.
Let you guys just hang out there, My Delco has to get in there and get heard,
Yeah.
All right, hang on, real quick. Let's get back up to let's correct all the wrong things that I said.
Yes.
So with the chest compressions versus breath, what's the protocol now?
The protocol is keep pumping on that chest. We need to move the blood. That's how we're going to do it. Breath comes secondary. As an instructor, I'll not put my mouth on somebody I don't know if I don't have a barrier mask to protect me. So you want to make sure that compressions is the most important part of CPR now.
So Tom, I'm very stupid. I'm very stupid here. So you show up. Someone is choking. The first thing you do, and if you bypass the mouth-to-mouth stuff, you're thinking chest compression.
No, not choking. This is CPR.
CPR. Okay.
Yeah, this is CPR.
I see that. See, I'm stupid. So I needed that clarification.
So good.
Yeah, thank you.
The first thing I'm doing for anything situation going on is I'm going to definitely call for help. Get the first EMTs there. You need an AED. Okay.
Yeah.
Without an AED, you're not going to bring somebody back to life. All the ERs and Grey's Anatomy movies you see, chest compressions will keep that person's opportunity to survive at a greater risk. But without an AED on the scene, you cannot shock that heart back into a rhythm. So therefore, you cannot save a life without an AED.
So if I may jump in here quickly, that the process of compressing the chest is mildly replicating what the heart would be doing in the interim?
Right.
Yes, because when you're doing CPR, someone's in cardiac arrest. That means their heart stopped pumping.
Mm-hmm.
So you got to become the manual pump.
Okay.
Where every time you're pushing down, you're pumping the blood out. Every time the chest comes up, you're letting the heart refill.
And so
For the first 10 minutes, that person has oxygenated blood. So that's why breathing can be secondary until EMTs get there, because the blood is oxygenated for 7 to 10 minutes.
Okay. Interesting.
And so the circulation of that blood is more important in keeping the heart pumping than the breath.
Exactly. Because you're keeping the brain and the organs alive by circulating that blood through them.
And so let me ask you this question. Let's say, and obviously, if you are certified, you'll know what to do. If you're not, should you attempt to do any of these things at all, Tom?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely do your best, because you're going to call 911. So you're going to have them on there, and the 911 operators can help you.
Okay.
But the golden rule for chest compressions is to try to push down 1/3 of the chest depth.
Okay.
That way it works for any human being.
Okay.
Because everyone's body's different. So you want to try to get 1/3 depth down. You can never push too far and too fast.
Let me ask you this. If the person's heart is beating and you're a novice and you don't know this, Are chest compressions, can that hurt someone in a bad way if you're doing it unnecessarily?
You don't. Yeah, I mean, you're not. It's not gonna stop it.
Okay.
But you're not really helping them in that situation.
I gotcha. Yep.
So that's why, we really, the owner of my company was an EMT. I met this guy working in an emergency room. That's how we met.
Okay.
He would bring them in and we would work on these people. But by the time they got to us, people didn't know how to do high quality CPR and, all those steps. So he created this company to make sure that everyone's getting that training.
All right,
Even
so
a little bit of training helps.
Your company will come to people's. You can set this
I'll
up.
come right in there. We can come in there and teach you right there during the show. We come to you. That's what makes us different.
What's the name of the company, Tom?
It's called Tri-State Training and Fire. We do CPR, AED, choking. We do fire. We actually teach you what to do in a fire.
So let's get your information because I think I think people benefit from this. You remember Preston that show Emergency? How many they would actually lay out how you did all those rescue. At that time what was considered an acceptable protocol, and you hear stories of people's lives being saved because of that. So we'll get your information. Let me ask you this question: as an instructor, how often? To Preston's point about the ability to respond in the panic of the situation. Now, both you and Casey did it, Preston, but are most people, in your experience, able to do this when the time comes?
For the most part, yes. They will do it. People will do it. You do find that I've been in situations where it's close family members, friends, and I still managed to pull through what I had to do.
Okay.
But I'm also certified, and I've seen people who weren't certified, and they did what they had to do. Like, people do react, because it's a little bit more difficult when it's children, but people will do what they need to do to save a life. And it is actually really, you look around, you're like, even the bystanders that just have the 911 operator can do something to help prolong that life.
That's what it's all about. Let me ask you, is there ever a situation where it would be appropriate for two in the stink?
Oh, my God.
Bye, John.
I've seen videos.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I'm a
Tom, you don't have to answer that. Thank you. Appreciate it.
He said, okay.
I thought you were going to ask him about using grenades. IEDs. See? But people would know what I'm talking about. They're doing it in the heat of the moment.
You knew it was 3 letters together.
You knew it was 3 letters. Yeah.
I should have asked him is if buying one of those EDs, not erectile dysfunctions, but for your own home.
Yeah.
Those devices? Yeah. And they do, they market them.
Listen, my friend's son, he died of sudden cardiac arrest. He was 10 years old. And it happened at home in their kitchen. It can happen, and it does happen.
Every consumer electronics show, they will come out with all you have to do is you set it on it and it takes care of it itself.
Well, and Steve, some of them, they actually, when you activate the AED, they give instructions.
Yes.
So while you're using it, it'll tell you what you're supposed to be doing while you're doing it.
Yeah, and this, like I said, we tinkered around with that 10 years ago when I went with CPR. It tells you what to do, and it reads the patient and knows whether or not it's appropriate to use or not. It will only apply the shock if
Don't even bother.
If necessary. I want to go to Nikki because she has had this happen with her son, had a cardiac issue. Hi, Nikki. Good morning.
Hi. Good morning, guys.
Hey, what's up?
My son had a sudden cardiac arrest at age 9. We had no idea that he had a heart condition, and he was at Little League baseball. We had just got there. He walked onto the field and collapsed. And I had CPR training. I had AD training. I was useless. I completely freaked out. I couldn't even process that this was a heart issue.
Right.
He was 9.
Yeah.
And thankfully, there was one mom who grabbed me and looked me in the face and was like, "What do you need me to do now?" And I was like, "Call my husband, pick up my son." There was 2 off-duty police officers there who kept it together. And once there was no pulse and he wasn't breathing, they started CPR.
So you were just flat out clueless. You just had, you can't even fathom the fact that a 9-year-old is having some type of a heart attack.
Correct.
Yeah.
I don't know. AED CPR didn't even occur to me.
Yeah.
Maybe because it's my kid. I don't know. I just.
No, I completely understand that. We just don't think in those terms of a kid that young having a cardiac arrest.
I had no idea, and there was no AED present.
Wow.
Which is a huge factor. So they did the CPR to the ambulance arrived, which got there late. It got held up, and they hit him 3 times with the paddles and brought him back.
Oh my God!
How old is he now, Nikki?
He's 19.
That's amazing.
And does he have any? Did he ever have any? Genetic heart problems or?
He did, but it's one of those things that just goes undetected. Like you hear of college football players that just collapse.
Yeah.
They told me that it's usually when they hit an age where their workouts get more intense and harder. That's when you find out. That's when it shows itself. But they don't know why his, happened then.
Right. Hey, Nikki, did the ball field or the organization end up investing in an AED after that?
They did, and his school did, and they made sure everyone was trained, and they checked the batteries. But I met a lot of other people through this, unfortunately, whose children didn't survive.
Right.
Because even if an AED was present, it was not accessible. It was locked up in the coach's office.
So you're talking about something we were talking about earlier, which is where do you put it? How do you make sure you don't forget where it is?
Yeah.
How do you make it the most obvious? And that's something that I think if today you do anything at home, make sure that you know where that fire extinguisher is.
Yeah.
We have those fire suppressant sheets for like fires that you see advertised that apparently fire departments recommend. And I'm when I go home, I'm going to move it properly into the kitchen and put it up on the wall. For all of these things, remember where they are, make them accessible so that in that moment of panic, you don't go, where the hell is it?
Thank you, Nikki. Appreciate it. Yeah, a lot of times if you're shopping and, at malls or whatever, that you'll see a sign that says AED pointing at that.
Yeah.
I just got a text that says, that is telling me that Brielle, who is on the line, actually has an AED at home. So I'm going to go to her. Hey, Brielle, good morning.
Hey, bitches.
Hey, what? What's up, Brielle?
Hey, so yes, we have actually 2 AEDs in our home. Not that our home is really big, but my children both have something called long QT syndrome, which is a congenital heart condition, and we have AEDs that have been approved through insurance. So they are hard to get if insurance doesn't approve them, and they're very expensive.
Any idea how much it would cost without insurance helping out?
I mean, over $1,000.
Wow.
Per. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So we get them approved because of their condition.
Right.
I have an internal one because I have the same condition as well. But yeah. So I mean, they're like I said, with insurance, they're pretty easy to get.
Right.
There's also CHOP runs programs called the Youth Heart Watch and then the Atom Project, which brings a lot of information to especially places where children will be and getting AEDs into those facilities.
Okay. So I'm looking right now on Amazon, and then the price range is about $1,600, $1,400. They're in that range. So they are a bit pricey. Obviously, for you though, you can't take the risk. You've got to have it.
Yeah.
Right.
All right. Well, thank you, Brielle. Appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem. Have a good day, guys.
All right, you too. So, besides obviously the choking, that's another concern.
I mean, the choking thing is, it's scary. Like it happened to us a couple of years ago after everything was said and done, and the dog literally ate the chunk of steak that ended up on the floor.
The evidence.
Which is hilarious.
Yeah.
He was like,
Thank you.
Little piece of food.
Freebies.
I was, I don't know, like PTSD, I guess is the only way I can.
How could it not?
And then not only that, like I just got a text from my wife saying like she's crying on the way into work because of that situation. And I think about it from time to time, like if I wasn't able to, and I was thrusting as hard as I possibly could, like it's the first couple I thought I was going and nothing happened, and then I was like, okay, I have to do this. Like
it is life or death.
Yeah.
Same thing, Case.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I have to hit him to get this to work.
Steve, even when you passed out in the studio, I had like a little PTSD after that because there's a camera here in the studio that kind of obscures your face a little bit. Yeah. And there were moments in the subsequent shows afterwards where like your head kind of like bobbed past the the camera.
And you thought I was passing out.
And I thought you were passing
Yeah,
out.
you mentioned to me, yeah.
Every time, yeah, because sometimes Steve sways too, and when he would sway, I would immediately look over and think he's going down again.
Case, the same thing about my, when Carter was choking, I get a little flash of anxiety and terror.
Yeah.
Just thinking about that. I mean, because I try to, the thought pops in, I try to block it out. You know what I mean?
When it happened,
scary.
When I think I had to remove myself to another room because I started getting upset.
Yeah.
Yeah. And because and not only. It would happen in front of the entire family. You know what I mean?
No, that's
what a traumatic thing for everybody.
Well, use this as maybe a motivator to take that CPR class, that first aid class, whatever it is. The CPR class is usually a couple hours, 3 hours, something like that.
Yeah. And also, I'm not trying to minimize the actual effects of PTSD because I know.
No,
you know what I mean.
I know what you're saying.
You're saying though it's similar.
Yeah, to put a label on it. I know what you're saying. And yes, for those who have had this horribly traumatic experiences, it doesn't compare to what you've gone through, of course.
Make sure you have all of this in place as well as chicken wings for the big game on
That's right, which we'll have Piccolilli in here for a little bit later.
If we've learned anything.
If we've learned anything.
We've learned.
But yeah, CPR, they teach you not only, the actual CPR, and what is it? No, not cardiopulmonary explosive device.
Diarrhea.
Erectile dysfunction.
Diarrhea with double vaginal.
Yeah, double vaginal.
So you know what it is.
Anal.
But anyhow, use this as a motivator. As a motivator.
All I heard was anal.
To maybe take a class like this because it could save someone's life.
That's all you needed to hear, man.
That's all we needed
One
to
thing
hear.
I took from this.
All right. And
It's okay. Our last words were anal.
With that, let's do some invites to Valentine's Day. How about that? Clear the phone lines. I apologize to those who've been on hold for like a half hour or whatever. We had to talk to Tom, who knows this stuff. But we have a party that's a week from today. I'm going to take 3 callers, 215-263-WMMR. You have to be at least 21 years of age. And one of our gals, if you're not a sorority member yet, we'll sign you up. But the Valentine's Day party is going to be next week, 6 to 8 p.m. We're going to be at the Jack's Bar and Grill inside of Rivers Casino. And we've got an activity and all kinds of good stuff. So we'll get you on board. And who's handling our activity that night, Kathy?
It's Marinella Jewelry from, is it Thornberry, Casey? What's the part of Delco?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, yeah.
It's a nice part of Delco.
Yes, she wants to make sure everyone knows she's from Delco. Marinella Jewelry, we're going to do beaded bracelets. They're Valentine's Day friendship bracelets. They come with a little charm.
Yay.
It's going to be so fun.
All right, 215-263-WMMR. We'll take a break and come back with the beat file. Stay with us.
93.3 WMMR.
All right, let's do this bizarre file thing.
WMMR presents Preston and Steve's Bizarre File.
All right, a few things to pass along. We'll start with this. This is pretty scary. A finance worker at a multinational firm was tricked into paying out $25 million to fraudsters that were using deepfake technology to pose as the company's chief financial officer in a video conference call, according to Hong Kong police. The elaborate scam saw the worker duped into attending a video call with what he thought were several other members of staff, but all of whom were, in fact, deep fake recreations.
And you know this is only going to get worse. So they better come up with systems to quadruple check.
Everyone in the video was a fake. The worker had grown suspicious after he received a message that was purportedly from the company's UK-based chief financial officer. Initially, the worker suspected it was a phishing email as it talked of the need for a secret transaction to be carried out. However, he would put aside his early doubts after the video call because other people in attendance had looked and sounded just like colleagues that he recognized.
Gee, that was the one telltale thing. They all had googly eyes.
Believing everyone else on the call was real, the worker agreed to remit about $25.6 million. The case is one of several recent episodes in the fraudsters, in which fraudsters are believed to have used deepfake technology to modify publicly available video and other footage to cheat people out of money. Hong Kong police said that they had made 6 arrests in connection with such scams. On at least 20 occasions, AI deepfakes had been used to trick facial recognition programs by imitating the people pictured on the identity cards.
And if you think about it, they picked an amount, like if they'd gone for $500 million or whatever, 25 million is a lot, but okay, you might relax a little bit on that if you're a big company.
Yeah. So that's, like you said, that's going to happen more and more. Yesterday, members of the Bellevue Police Department bomb squad responded to a rather unusual call. It was a report of a military-grade rocket in the garage of a residence. Officers later determined the object to be inert. But it was interesting. On Wednesday evening, police received a call from an Air Force museum in Dayton, Ohio. The museum received a call from a resident who expressed interest in donating an item that had belonged to his deceased neighbor. The man stated that his neighbor had originally purchased the item from an estate sale. And just the other day, members of the bomb squad responded to the residence and contacted the neighbor who had called the museum. Officers were given access to the reported missile and inspected the object, and they learned that it was, in fact, a Douglas Air 2 Genie, an unguided air-to-air rocket that is designed to carry a 1.5 kiloton W-25 nuclear warhead.
Isn't that amazing?
There was no warhead attached to it, thankfully.
We had a tank shell. Growing up, my dad had all this sort of stuff. It was inert, but we used to have lots of stuff like that.
Bomb squad members confirmed the object was inert and contained no rocket fuel, essentially meaning the item was an artifact with no explosive hazard. And because the item was inert and the military did not request it back, police left the item with the neighbor, and they hopefully are going to restore it and put it in a museum. But it was it could have carried a nuclear warhead.
Did we lend you our nuclear missile?
Mm-hmm. A Florida mother of 3 has been banned from dropping off and picking up her young from a Florida Christian school because she advertises her lucrative OnlyFans account on an oversized car decal. Michelle Klein said she is now forced to walk her children across a busy street to get them to the class, and that some parents want her family expelled from Liberty Christian Preparatory School altogether.
Let me ask you, what exactly is Cooter Vision?
She said, I don't think it's right. People are going to be offended by all sorts of things and different bumper stickers, whatever. But at the end of the day, this is something that supports my family. Klein, who previously worked in assisted living facilities and as a beautician, first launched the explicit venture, which clears up to $20,000 a month.
Nice.
Roughly 3 years ago. She said, it's only me and my husband. No one else brought in, male or female. We always were we always were into cameras in our bedroom. So we said, hey, let's make some money off of this.
Hey!
To boost business, Klein, who goes by Piper Fawn online, placed a large decal on the back of her SUV emblazoned with her OnlyFans account address roughly 2 years ago. Several parents began to take note of the sticker during pickup and drop off at the religious school, and word began to spread. A source said that a student was expelled for looking up Klein's page on his personal phone on school grounds last year.
It is actually a fairly, it's fairly discreet. It's not like spread legs or something. It's just,
but fellow parent Lexi Thomas, herself a TikTok parent, influencer with more than 220,000 followers, said that the school administrators have refused to address a slew of complaints about the decal. Thomas argued that it promoted pornography on school grounds and violated the school's Christian-based code of conduct. Early this month, administrators informed Klein that she could no longer drive the SUV onto school property, relegating her to a parking lot across the street. She said she's complied with this, but says that she has no plans to pull her kids from the school. But Thomas, the other woman, is demanding the family's expulsion, asserting that the school's principal is failing to follow its own rules. Taking to her TikTok account, she flashed explicit still images of Klein's page in making her point.
I will be investigating this and follow up with you in about a half a year.
But Klein says she has no intention of taking her kids out of the school.
Business has never been better.
A 16-year-old girl in California was hospitalized after she fell from a chairlift at Mammoth Mountain Ski Area in California as witnesses failed to catch the helpless teen.
Wow.
The unidentified teen was taking the Stump Alley Express lift with 3 other riders on Saturday when the ordeal occurred and was captured on camera. In the video, the snowboarder is seen hanging for dear life from the still chair as about 10 members of the resort ski patrol stand below her.
How high up?
She looked like she was about
30 feet?
25, 30 feet. Yeah. She appeared to be holding on. They were holding on to a net to catch her. And she was ready to release her grip. Shockingly, the girl lets go and then plummets to the ground, but missed the net. A bone-chilling crashing sound echoed across the slopes when the teen collided with the ground below while onlookers gasped. A resort spokesperson said the teen was not completely seated and started to slide off her chair as she ascended the slope. They tried to catch her. I haven't seen any follow-up on her condition.
I watched the footage. It's to be honest, I'm surprised they weren't able to catch her.
Yeah, I'm sure she hurt herself, but I don't know what level.
Well, the snow certainly helps that it was on snow. That makes a difference.
All right, and then one last story, and we'll wrap with this. In Texas, the Nacogdoches County Sheriff's Office seized more than 35 gallons of prescription cough syrup during a traffic stop on Sunday.
35, how much?
35 gallons.
35 gallons of cough syrup?
Deputies conducted a traffic stop after observing a Chevy Equinox commit several moving violations. The driver, Harry Lee Parks, and male passenger both claimed that they traveled to Houston and were headed back to Memphis.
It's a Nacogdoches pipeline.
Where they both lived. However, the driver and passenger reportedly provided conflicting reasons for their short trip to Texas. Authorities said while speaking to the men, deputies noticed a smell of marijuana emitting from the car. They searched the vehicle, and they found an open bottle of promethazine cough syrup inside the center console.
Were they using that for drug-like purposes?
Probably. And a further search of the car revealed a large quantity of cough syrup. They said 2 suitcases in the back seat of the car were open and revealed large quantity of commercial-grade individual bottles of the medication, which is often mixed with codeine or illicit substances.
Like scissor.
Yeah. In the trunk of the vehicle, they discovered 2 more suitcases filled with cough syrup and one which also contained a usable amount of marijuana, and some THC liquid was also confiscated.
You know what? They never once coughed.
Not once.
Yeah.
Yep. And there you go. That's what I have in the bizarre file for you this morning. All right, let us take a break. Come back in a moment. A little later on this morning, comedian Kelsey Cook is going to be joining us. Steven Singer is stopping by as well. And Piccalillion is here. We'll do some more giveaways in conjunction with their chicken wings being here, getting ready for the big game this weekend. We'll be back in a moment. Stay right where you are.
Your traffic on 93.3 WMMR.
Thanks, Kat. So we chatted yesterday about the Grammy Awards over the weekend, and you were saying, Steve, actually it's a pretty solid show.
Yeah, usually what I do, and I've been vocal about thinking that the Grammys is probably one of the better award shows over the past couple of years, but this, I usually record it and then speed through it. I actually watched it in real time. Last night I went back and rewatched the Tracy Chapman performance, and then I watched the other performances. I thought, wow, solid,
Yeah.
The Joni Mitchell thing, my wife was crying watching it. It was just great.
So with that in mind, I saw this article this morning, and I was like, this might be kind of fun to kind of reminisce about. The record of the year this year went to Miley Cyrus. She got that for Flowers. But I pulled up a listing of every single record of the year that's ever been awarded at the Grammys. And they started in 1959. They initially gave it to the artist until 1965, and then they added
Prince?
No, not that. The artist formerly known as whoever the singer was, or musician,
right?
And then in 1966 to 1998, they did artist and producer. And then they included it, starting in 1999, the artist, producer, recording engineer, and mixing engineer, which is pretty cool because those guys usually don't get the credits.
No, they don't.
And then in 2013, they started adding the mastering engineer. So all those people actually get the Grammy Award.
This year was the first year they added all their pets as well.
The pets,
which I
get
thought was a
those
little
too.
extensive.
Yeah, but listen, they're comforting. They help motivate you. Yeah. So I thought it might be kind of fun to go through every single record of the year that they've ever awarded since 1959.
I mean, you can see trends, obviously, too, throughout this. It's sort of it's the soundtrack of the world.
And it's the record of the year. If you are a music fan to any level, then you probably know every single song.
If you had this information, you could go back in time. Obviously, we could. If you go back in time and then bet on all the Grammys.
Like Gray's Sports Almanac.
Yes.
Do that, yeah. All right, so in 1959, the very first record of the year was awarded to Domenico Modugno for Volare. It's actually called Nel Blue Di Pinto de Blue Di Tai Tai. That's the full title.
That's her.
I don't know that one.
Ceylon Kong Kong.
You know what it was up against? And we won't do this for every single category, but the Chipmunk song was up for record of the year that year.
Christmas?
The Christmas, Don't Be
wow.
Late. Yeah.
Stairway to Acorns.
Witchcraft from Frank Sinatra was up against it as well.
Well, that's a formidable,
that's a great song.
And at that time, that was, that's at the height of its popularity.
Apparently, they gave out 2 that year. So they did it. What? They did it in May, and then they did it again in November. And in November, the Grammy for Record of the Year went to Mac the Knife from Bobby Darin.
Bobby Darin.
I still love that song.
It's a great song. Bobby Darin did not write that song. That comes from, isn't that it?
It's a McDonald's commercial. It's Mac Tonight.
No, that was Mac Tonight. Yeah. I don't know who wrote it. See, because at this time they gave it only to the artist.
Okay.
Yeah. So,
right.
but I'm not sure who wrote that song initially because I don't think he was the first to record it either. That one in 1959, the second one, and then they must have considered that it was held in November, but it was for the 1960s because 1961 Record of the Year was "Theme from a Summer Place" by Percy Faith.
You remember that?
I don't know it by title.
There's a summer place. Da, 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 da.
Is it an instrumental?
I know it mostly is an instrumental, but I've heard that it has lyrics.
I know the title, but I don't know.
There's a summer's. It was considered sort of and I'm probably wrong on this, a sort of a more saucy romance story.
By the way, so that year, another contender was Mac the Knife by Ella Fitzgerald. So this is back in the day when people used to cover songs.
Right.
Regularly.
So Mac the Knife, remember, Preston, we were talking about songs that have entered the public domain a few weeks ago?
Yeah.
Mac the Knife is one of those because it was written in 1928 by 2 Germans, a guy named Kurt Weill and Bertolt Brecht.
Is it about...
it's about a hitman.
A hitman, yeah.
A knife-wielding criminal of the London underworld, and it was from a musical named Mac Heath, or Mac the Knife.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So then in 1962, it was Moon River.
Henry Mancini.
My dad is... We did crosswords the other day, and my dad has been struggling with some stuff lately, and it just speaks to the power of music because the crossword clue was this Oscar-winning Henry Mancini composition, blah blah blah. And my dad goes Moon River, and then he started singing Moon River by Henry Mancini, and for the rest of my life, I will always associate that song with my dad.
Henry Mancini was a genius.
Yeah.
And Moon River can actually make me tear up. It's such a beautiful song.
Absolutely.
I mainly remember it from Fletch.
Yep, me too.
Yeah.
Because he's getting his butt examined, and right as the doctor does the insertion, he starts going into Moon River.
The first movie it appeared in was Breakfast at Tiffany's.
Going to use old fist there, Doc? So that was 1962. Then 1963 was Tony Bennett. I left my heart in San Francisco.
I love San Francisco.
Yeah.
Always love it. The Windy City.
No, that's Chicago.
City Lights.
No, that's...
The Empire State.
That's okay. We'll give you that.
Home of the Parthenon.
And lots of poop.
Lots of poop.
I left
my heart. By the way, Preston, for the Grammy Awards, they did a thing where they had Stevie Wonder do a duet with the footage of Tony Bennett. And it was
what
sensational.
Song was it?
God, what was it? It was terrific, and I'm having a brain fart, but it was great.
I did see video of it, but I didn't get a chance to check.
They had a little bit of a video flub at the beginning, so it looked like he was going to sing a duet with Jimmy Buffett.
What?
Yeah, because Jimmy.
Now Stevie Wonder sings Margaritaville
because it was the in memoriam section
or Cheeseburger in Paradise. Could you imagine?
Because he just talked about the civil rights and the importance that it meant to the civil rights. Yeah. He wrote Cheeseburger in Paradise.
All right, so that was 1963. Then in 1964 was Days of Wine and Roses.
Another Henry Mancini.
Yeah, I don't know that song.
Days of Wine and Roses.
A ballad?
And run away. Yes, it's a ballad.
Okay.
And it comes from the movie, which is about alcoholism.
Oh, okay. Then in 1965 was The Girl from Ipanema.
Local ties.
Stan Getz and Astrid Gilberto, who we found out lived right down the street.
Yes.
Until she passed away. And we had no idea.
And she was sort of used as a last-minute filler.
Yeah. Because she could speak English.
Because she could speak, and it was... it's legend. It's unbelievable.
Yep.
And she apparently was a massive fan of our show, is what I'm telling people.
We miss her terribly. So, I love this song.
How does this not create a mood the second you hear it?
Yeah. It makes me want to drink, really, is what it makes me want to do.
And I'm
In the
sorry,
best of ways.
But if you're drinking a drink that doesn't have an umbrella in it, you're doing it wrong.
I agree. I agree, Case. Absolutely. Then in we're going through all of the records of the year because they just had the Grammys the other night. In 1966, A Taste of Honey.
That's
not the Beatles. Yeah, by Herb Alpert,
which I love.
And the Tijuana Brass Band. Little reverb, if you would, please.
Right?
That's A Taste of Honey?
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm sure I know it. That's the Beatles. All right. Is it the same song? A taste of honey, tasting
it is.
much sweeter than wine.
Yeah.
Boo-doo-doo-doo.
Yeah.
All right. Well, there you go. All right. 1967 brought us Strangers in the Night by Frank Sinatra.
Great song.
And I apologize. I haven't let Casey know ahead of time what songs I
Well,
want.
if we play them, we can't use it on YouTube anyway. So
That's true.
Yeah.
Good point. So what if we sing it?
Strangers in the night, exchanging glances, loving at first sight.
Wait, does Chevy Chase
Took
also
off their
sing that?
pantses.
Yes, he does. He's
Fletch?
exchanging clothing.
Exchanging fluids.
Strangers in my pants.
Is that Caddyshack? Or is that Fletch?
It's not Caddyshack.
Strangers in my pants.
We used to sing Strangers in the Night, exchanging rubbers. This one fits too tight. Let's find another. This one fits too loose.
I think the chairman of the board would be
Can't
happy.
hold the Jews. Thank you to Frank for giving us Strangers in the Night. That was 1967. 1968 was Up, Up and Away by the Fifth Dimension.
Love that song.
In My Beautiful Balloon. Up and away in my beautiful balloon. It's all wispy and whatnot. Then, here you go, 1969. We're starting to get some really cool tunes.
Yeah, because so far, not for nothing, a little lame.
All right. Well, it was early, man.
I know.
All right, Mrs. Robinson from Simon and Garfunkel.
All right.
Great. Classic.
And thus began the run of Paul Simon and his accolades.
The Graduate.
So up against that for Song of the Year was Hey Jude. Which, so for Mrs. Robinson to win, that's huge. Honey from Bobby Goldsboro.
Because, honey, I miss you.
Okay.
And I'm feeling blue.
All right. So Harper Valley PTA.
Yep.
And then Steve, Wichita Lineman.
Now, for me, one of the great songs. I want Wichita Lineman.
It lost to Mrs. Robinson's.
The Wichita line is still on the... Just a beautiful song.
You're still on the line.
Yay!
All right.
Ding, ding. I love this bass.
I thought it kind of ended right after he said, still on the line, but it goes on.
And I need you more than want you, and I want you for all time.
Those are the next lines?
Yeah. And
I didn't know
need
that.
you more than want you.
I need to go and listen to that song. All right. So that was 1969. 1970 brought us The Fifth Dimension again, although this time it's Aquarius. This is the dawning of the age of Aquarius. Age of Aquarius.
Just watch 40-Year-Old Virgin.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
The end of that movie is one of my all-time favorite post-credit segments ever. They go into a trippy 1960s montage of dancing, and it's brilliant.
Everyone from Seth Rogen to
Paul Rudd
to everybody.
Jonah Hill.
in it.
Jonah Hill.
Yeah. And then it goes into, at the end of the song, it turns into Let the sun shine. Let the sun shine in. The sun shining. So that was the Song of the Year, 1970. 1971, we go back to Simon and Garfunkel and Bridge Over Troubled Water.
I mean, you can't.
It's a masterpiece.
I don't know how you could not like that song. And then it's Sail On, that second part.
Sail on, Sue.
I mean, come on.
And I guess
are you made of stone?
Paul doesn't sing until that part.
Right, yeah.
At the the majority of the song is all Art Garfunkel.
I mean, come on. I mean, if you know anyone who's suffering or in a bad way, this is a beautiful. This is like.
There's this artist that I like. Her name's Yeba. No, her actual birth name is Abby, but Abby backwards is Yeba. And so there's a version of her just sitting on her couch singing this, and then the guy takes it and he ends up harmonizing with her.
Wow.
And it is so damn good.
Send that to me if you have it.
I shall.
Between this and The Boxer,
yeah.
Another 2 songs from that Paul Simon wrote that I just absolutely get lost in.
This is like for me, like Peter Gabriel's "Don't Give Up."
Yeah. It's the best.
This voice is just like mine.
All right, we need Mark Summers to end this because I can't just turn it off. So if you would.
Shut the f*** up!
There we go.
Thank you.
It's like the audio sorbet.
Yeah. In 1972, the number one song or the song of the year went to Carole King.
Oh, another genius.
It's Too Late.
Another. I mean, the Tapestry album, Carole King is a masterpiece.
'Cause it's too late, baby. Now it's too late. Though we really did try to make it
something.
Now that's a song about forget it. It's over. You know what I mean? As opposed to Bridge Over Troubled Water, which is like I'll be here for you no matter what. This one is like
go to hell.
You.
Yeah, suck it.
We tried, but
eat my ass.
Oh man, another song that was up against that was "You've Got a Friend" from James Taylor.
Well,
that's another song.
James Taylor and Carole King are massive friends, so I'm sure.
She let him sniff it.
That was a good year. It's Too Late, Joy to the World, My Sweet Lord, You've Got a Friend, and the theme from Shaft,
which is and that won the Oscar for soundtrack that year.
All right, and then in 1973, a lot of these are ballads because they're beautiful songs. Roberta Flack. The first time ever I saw your face.
I love that goddamn song. So that is used in the movie Play Misty for Me, which is the Clint Eastwood movie where he is being stalked. He's in fact he's a DJ on a smooth jazz station, and he
Carmel.
Gets and it was Jessica from Arrested Development, Nick, the matriarch.
Yeah.
So she was the stalker, and but they have an extended scene where they play the entire song as he is walking with his girlfriend Clint Eastwood along Big Sur.
Yeah,
beautiful.
What else? What other movie did that song play?
The Expendables 2.
Wasn't it?
There was Meatballs 2?
No, Expendables 2.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Either one would work.
I don't know. Do you remember it from something? By the way,
I've never seen Play Misty for Me, but I know that
it's a great.
I have an idea for a game that involves songs from movies.
Okay.
I'm not going to tell you guys about it on the air right now, but it's just something I'm working on that I think you guys will love playing.
Can you come whisper it in Kathy's ear?
Kathy.
No.
Lean in here.
No.
Come here.
I want to kiss you.
All right, so anyhow, moving on. We're going through all the songs of the year since the beginning of the Grammy, since they started awarding that particular
I love all this stuff.
award. Roberta Flack went back-to-back. 1973.
Can I guess?
With, it's only her only other hit, I think, right?
Killing Me Softly?
Yeah, that's a brilliant song.
Oh, my God.
1973 and 1974 was then Killing Me Softly. And there were a couple of, listen to the other songs that were up against Bad Leroy Brown.
I dig that song.
Jim Croce. Behind Closed Doors from Charlie Rich.
Yeah. When we get behind closed doors.
You Are the Sunshine of My Life by Stevie Wonder and You're So Vain from Carly Simon. I did.
This is the Fugees, by the way. We don't have
you're right.
Roberta Flack.
As weird as the 1970s were, man, there was some great music that came out in the 70s.
I will tell you what you would have known, and in the early days of AM, it was far more eclectic than people give it credit for.
Yeah,
like
right.
you would hear like everything.
Like if you could only listen to music from one decade, which decade would you choose? I know, right?
This is going to be so I'm going to go with from 1100 to 1110. 10.
Yeah, that was your time.
Yeah, that's
You were
my
in your
time.
prime.
That's when I was dating.
Probably now. Man, that's a tough one, Casey, because my formative years were in the 1980s, but the 1980s were only good up until about 1987, and then it started getting a little funky. Or a little cheap, I thought.
Everything, there's always something worthy, when you start to reflect on a particular period, you go, oh yeah, I forgot about that. So
I think I would go 70s.
It's a hard question. 70s?
I really do think I would go 70s.
Okay.
I think it's a different version of like the records you're going to take on the desert island, right? The same kind of question. Casey, I was thinking similar, like 60s or 70s, but I don't think I could do Desert Island without Pearl Jam, without Dave Matthews Band. So and the U2 of the 90s I also like, so I'm going 90s.
I don't know how I could not have I have found great inspiration from the Killers, some of the Killers.
Yeah.
Well, all these things that I have done.
Yeah, so
would
that's
have to be-
2000s.
And the 90s are when alt hit, too. So all that flood of great rock music came
I know,
out then,
but
so.
like...
Oh, the new friggin' Stones, the Gaga song. I love it.
But, Boston and Kansas.
And Topeka.
And Chicago.
Europe.
And Crosby, Stills, and Nash.
Dallas, Fort Worth.
And the Beatles. And the Grateful
You're right.
Dead.
I'm with you on that case. Hang on. By the way, Lori's got a comment real quick. Hi, Lori. Good morning.
Oh, hi. Good morning. Gadzooks.
Gadzooks. What's up, Lori?
No, I'm on my way to work at Chester County Hospital, and I'm just really enjoying this what you're doing with the songs.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah,
Excellent.
just singing along in the car.
All right, what era would you pick if you had only a decade to choose from of music to live with?
The 80s.
80s.
All right.
Okay.
I hear you. All right. Thank you, Lori. Appreciate
Okay,
it.
have a great day. Thanks.
You too.
Here's one. 1975 was Olivia Newton-John with "I Honestly Love You."
So that's the album I bought just because of the album cover. I'm like, you remember that? It was just as gorgeous as Olivia Newton-John ever looked, and then yes, she was obviously a great singer.
All right. How about this? In 1976, we totally switched gears. And "Love Will Keep Us Together" by Captain and Tennille.
I love
the
it.
song of the year.
Love.
You could not escape it.
No, you could not. As hard as you might try.
I was a little kid then, but I remember that song was beaten to death on the radio. Yeah, there it is.
By the way, Tony Tennille was a studio backup singer and appeared on a lot of rock albums. This, to me, does not have the emotional import of Muskrat Love.
There's a great moment. There's a documentary about Fish that was done by Todd Phillips, who did Road Trip and stuff.
Right.
But there's a scene with this song where these people, they're at this festival concert. They are up all night long. Now the sun has come up and these people are still going. And they're sucking down nitrous balloons and listening to this song. It is so funny.
Daryl Dragon was also, who's the captain, right?
He was in the Beach Boys.
He was in the Beach Boys, yeah.
So
that's his real name.
Legitimate, musicians. Yeah, the real deal. 1977, the song of the year was "This Masquerade" by George Benson. And I know a couple songs from George Benson, but I don't. I remember.
Oh, no,
that's Benson. That's the TV show Benson. No, I was going to say, I remember "Give Me the Night," I believe was George Benson, and that was a cool tune.
Man, I listened to a lot of George Benson around that time.
Great guitar player and singer. Yeah.
This Masquerade, Preston, was written by Leon Russell of the band.
Oh!
I love Leon Russell.
Wow. Okay. So we'll have to find out.
But I don't know that song.
This Masquerade from George.
Oh, I went into Genie all of a sudden.
Oh, all right. Then in 1978, record of the year was "Hotel California."
Oh, yeah.
Wow, from the Eagles. Yep.
That just thundered when that came out.
Yep. And one of those long songs.
And just a couple years after Captain and Tennille.
This was a song that, even as a senior in high school, I would drive around, I would have like MGK on or whatever, and just wait for this song to come on because you didn't have it at the, you're readily at your fingertips.
You're right. Yeah, exactly. That's the process that you had to go through. And it was Don Felder's initial riff that set everything off.
And this was on the Greatest Hits Volume 2, by the way. So if you were trying to go for the Eagles' Greatest Hits, Volume 1 did not have.
Right.
Volume 2 was far superior than Volume 1.
I think it was one of the best, greatest hits albums of all time.
It was also one of the. It remained in the top.
Yeah, for a long time.
Ever
on the chart. All right, 1979 brought us, it was the entrance of Billy Joel, Just the Way You Are. He had a huge hit with that record.
I was in college with it.
It's a beautiful song.
Yeah.
Stevie was up against Feel So Good from Chuck Mangione. Hit it! All right. Then in... There's a lot of interesting instrumental.
He played the flugelhorn.
Baker Street was up against that.
I love Jerry Rafferty.
Great saxophone.
My high note isn't working quite well today. So.
Yeah, you got to start at a lower note to get up to the high.
He also did a soundtrack for a movie called The Children of Sanchez.
All right, 1980, the record of the year was What a Fool Believes from the Doobie Brothers.
That is a great song. That is the Michael McDonald era.
Yeah.
And of course, he generated a lot of, but the Doobies, before were, which Doobie you be?
Which Doobie you be?
Co-written by Kenny Loggins. What a Fool Believes.
No kidding.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
Oh, and you know who won a producer award along with him? Ted Templeman. That was Van Halen's longtime producer.
That's crazy.
Yeah, right. Thank you, Michael. 1981 brought us the record of the year was "Sailing" by Christopher Cross.
Oh my God,
Yacht Rock! It is a great song. He and I think he has admitted that he was done in by the way he looked.
Yeah.
Which was, and he just looks like a regular guy, but I think a lot of women had envisioned him as this very Kenny Loggins looking guy. And, but the song is a beautiful song.
Uh-huh.
And he also did, what was his other more up-tempo?
Ride Like the Wind.
Ride Like the Wind.
That's a good song.
And I think Michael McDonald is on that.
He is. He sings, well, I got such a long way to go. Such a long way to go.
So take it to the road of Mexico.
Yeah. After that, in 1981, 1982's record of the year was Betty Davis Eyes.
Oh my God,
she's got Betty Davis.
Kim Carnes with the scratchy voice.
And that was actually...
It was from surgery or something, right?
Yeah.
She had some kind of a condition, and it led to her biggest hit ever.
She's poor as New York snow.
Yeah. In 1983, Rosanna from Toto.
Oh, man.
Was the record of the year. That's awesome.
You had a collection of premier musicians who had been studio musicians, and man, who gelled better than Toto?
Hey, I never knew that, and I know how much you love Joe Jackson, Steve, but Steppin' Out was up for record of the year against Rosanna.
Huge Joe Jackson
in 1983.
Casey,
Yeah.
I think you would dig a lot of the Joe Jackson stuff, like you can't get what you want to, you know what you want.
Yeah.
I mean, Preston, you as a musician would have to appreciate the musicians that he's one of these guys who could walk from instrument to instrument and just play everything.
1984, Michael Jackson hit with "Beat It."
Oh,
come on!
That was
come on.
That was record of the year in 1984. I remember when that song came out, and the fact that Eddie Van Halen,
like a tsunami,
played the solo on that just blew us away.
Yeah.
Us rockers at the time.
Didn't we find out that he didn't do the solo?
No, he does do the solo, but Steve Lukather from Toto, plays every other guitar part on the rest of the entire song.
Isn't that crazy, Nick?
He plays the main riff, and then just the only part that Eddie played was that solo. So here's Lukather right here.
Okay.
Lukather plays, Lukather is playing, Lukather plays. Steve Lukather, he's the player. Van Halen does the solo later.
Then in 1986, We're the World.
Oh, yeah.
Record of the year. Produced by Quincy Jones, I guess co-written by him. This wasn't a, at that time, they didn't award the song. I think that's Song of the Year. Who gets the songwriting credits.
Have you watched the Netflix special on the documentary? I'm looking forward to it this weekend.
I am very much looking forward to seeing it.
Yeah, it's
I was
supposed to be
way
really
into
good.
that.
I remember they had a creation of video that they released about the time they released the actual video and the whole push and everything. And we also had that iconic check your ego, leave your egos at the door and all that sort of stuff. Yeah. But I want to see this documentary. Supposedly has tons of footage we never saw before.
Yep. All right. And then in 1985, What's Love Got to Do with It from Tina Turner.
You know.
Great song.
Tina Turner had it was a nice tribute during the Grammys. They had Fantasia Barrino. Is that her name?
Oh, wait, I flipped those two. 85 was What's Love Got to Do It, and then We Are the World was 1986.
Come on, man.
87 was Higher Love from Steve Winwood with Shaka Khan. Singing backups on that particular song. Did you know that, Case?
I did not. You know what? Maybe I did.
Probably.
Yeah, I just chose to forget it.
Understood. We all forget.
We have to block things out.
Things. 1988 was Graceland from Paul Simon. Record of the year.
It's a perfect record.
It's a great song.
But
this is just for that single.
Okay.
But for you're saying the album?
Oh, it's
perfect
amazing.
Album.
What
Beginning to
songs
end.
are on that album?
You Can Call Me Al, Graceland,
Diamonds on the Soles of
Lady
Shoes.
Smith, Black Mambazo.
Because
right?
that song Graceland is not my favorite on that album. But
no, there's Homeless.
Yes.
Sleeping on the
He had all those great African singers.
Oh, they're amazing.
Hello.
You can tell how good we are at it.
Yep. That was
Why?
That was 1988.
You.
Them. 1989 was Wow. Don't Worry, Be Happy from Bobby McFerrin.
Who you have often cited as
he's brilliant,
right? And I thought of him more as a novelty when he was out, not realizing
that's because you only know that song,
right? Yeah.
Because when I bought that album, I had already known who he was because I was into jazz at the time. And I remember that was the opening track on it. The album is called Simple Pleasures, and I'm like, I fast forwarded it.
Yeah.
I'm like, this is not what I got this for.
This is not my beautiful wife.
This is not my house. It's not my beautiful house. No, but it wasn't the really cool, amazing vocal stuff that I wanted from Bobby McFerrin, and I brushed it off. And it became this gigantic, huge hit.
Yeah, of course.
And I was totally blown away by that. He's amazing. He has perfect pitch. He's just this incredible musician. So, and he's from or used to live in the Philly area.
He lived with the girl from Ipanema. Of the block.
Yeah, Astrid Gilberto.
Yeah, they listen to us every morning.
1990. So we enter into the 90s, and we got to wrap up soon.
We do. Yeah, we have. I see the legend himself in the doorway over there, Steven Singer.
All right, we'll get to 2000 and then we'll cut it off, okay? Is that all right with you guys?
The way it was meant to be.
All right, Bette Midler, Women Need My Wings, 1990, record of the year.
From Beaches, right?
I believe so. 1991, Phil Collins, Another Day in Paradise.
Oh, really?
Yeah, great song. With
Think twice.
Crosby singing.
Kathy Lee Crosby.
Yeah, Kathy Lee Crosby duet. No, it was David Crosby.
He's on that.
Yeah,
Another Day in Paradise.
He's a duet with the two of them.
No,
yeah, it's a great
he also did Philip Bailey. He did some stuff with, and he did, and then he did a thing with Howard Jones.
I saw this funny thing on Instagram the other day. It's not true, but just I guess it speaks to how out there and how prolific I guess Phil Collins was at the time. But it was like every fourth song that you would hear on the radio, Phil Collins would be on that song.
Or was associated with, yeah.
I believe it. 1992, Unforgettable, the duet with Nat King Cole and Natalie Cole.
That was awesome.
It was cool. Yeah.
And then Dennis Cole from...
How did Unforgettable do when it originally came out?
It was a classic. I mean, it was a standard.
Okay.
And it would have been before the 1959 when that original hit was out. But do you remember Natalie Cole's, she had a big hit with
she did.
This Will Be?
Yeah. This will be.
I love it.
This will be.
It's a great voice.
Yeah.
Tragic, life.
You know how it goes.
Just like it.
Natalie, those words are getting blurred. We're hearing Gabba Zagaba.
1993 was Tears in Heaven from Eric Clapton.
And the story behind that is the death of his son.
His son had died.
First CD I ever owned was that one.
Really?
Yeah, because Unplugged.
Yeah.
First big concert I ever went to was that tour at the Spectrum.
Oh, wow.
1994 was Whitney Houston, I Will Always Love You, of course, written by Dolly Parton.
Come on.
Huge, one of the great vocal performances on that.
The Bodyguard.
1995 was Sheryl Crow, All I Want to Do.
No kidding.
Yeah.
That had such a cool sound to it at the time.
Steve, going back, you mentioned The Bodyguard.
Yeah.
Do you remember what song I Will Always Love You, what movie that originally came from?
Yeah, The Best Little Whorehouse in Texas. Yeah,
that was her.
She sings it to Burt Reynolds.
Dolly sings it, yeah. All right, so 1995 was All I Want to Do. 1996, Kiss from a Rose from Seal.
Oh, my God.
I actually heard that song the other day, That is a vocal performance on that tune, man.
Is that not
guy is phenomenal.
in the Batman Forever soundtrack?
Yep.
Okay.
It's also I love the sequence. I don't think that's the song he sings, but in Popstar Never Stop Stopping.
Yeah.
Never Stop. But yeah. Anyway, Seal performs at the wedding of Connor for real. And he gets mauled by wolves.
The wolves show up.
Yeah.
All right, 1997. I was just telling Kyle about this song the other day. Eric Clapton and Change the World.
Oh, I love that song.
Man, do I love that song. And it was produced by Babyface, the
wrong with your
R&B
face?
producer.
Yeah.
It's such a little baby.
What are you saying?
Yeah.
Was that the Phenomenon soundtrack by any chance?
It was...
Phenomenon.
No, you had said it was from a different soundtrack the other day. Wasn't, or maybe it was.
I thought it was Phenomenon because there was that one. There was another. There was an Aaron Neville song on that sound. I loved that movie.
Phenomenon?
Yeah.
You're right, Case.
Yeah.
Phenomenon.
Do-do-do-do.
Phenomenon. Turns out it's just a brain thing. He's not. He wasn't touched by aliens or something. He just has a tumor.
And
He's
then-
gonna die, everybody.
Hey, have a good time.
And then two more, and then we'll wrap up. And this one is a little bit off of the beaten path. 1998, the song of the year, or the record of the year, was "Sonny Came Home" by Sean Colvin.
Wow.
Do you remember that?
Vaguely.
What is it?
Sonny Came Home. It's actually about a woman who would light fires. And she was sent to a mental institution, and then she got back out.
They got airplay on Y100 before the Jim McGuinn era of Y100.
And we played it while we were there, too, yeah.
No, that was definitely during the Jim McGuinn era.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
Give me
1998.
Give me a little bit of it, if you wouldn't mind, because I'm
Sonny came home.
You'd recognize it, Steve.
Sonny came home with a list of things she didn't really believe in transcending. It's at the time for things he says. Sonny came home with a vengeance. And then I can't, you know what? Screw it. I'll find it right now for you, Steve, because you know this song.
I'm sure I know it, and I'm just having a mental block,
This was
which
like-
is quite common for me.
What was the plug it in there?
Plug it in, plug it in.
Lilith Fair.
Oh, do you have it, Marissa?
No.
Oh, yes. Oh, right from the beginning. Yeah. We played this at Y100 a lot.
Yeah. I didn't know it was the record of the year.
Neither did I. How did that happen?
Maybe I need to listen to it more.
You know this song, Case?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's a good tune. All right, so we're running out of time here, so we're not going to listen to the whole thing. All right, and then the last one, Kathy.
Yes.
1999, your song, Celine Dion, My Heart Will Go On. We used to have a recording of her singing that. Remember that?
I think we do.
You still have that?
I think I do. Yep.
We do.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, you left a voice message for somebody of you singing that.
Let me do a little checking. You keep talking.
There was that one and the Little Mermaid.
And then there was I think
Pat Benatar.
We're running through the shadows.
No, it wasn't that. It was
Yeah, it was that one.
Oh yeah. You're right.
I
You are
think
correct.
I think Nick got that one.
But
So
yeah,
this was 99, Preston?
that was 1999.
That's strange because Titanic came out in 97. So sometimes Grammys are delayed by a year.
Well, okay.
Oh yeah, I did. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
I did used to sing this.
Here we go. Got it.
All right, go ahead. Fire it up.
Every night in my dreams, I see you, I
Oh, yeah, this is me.
feel you. That is how I know you. Go on.
And this comes full circle because Celine made an appearance at the Grammys.
That was my ringtone for you for a long time.
By the way, I totally disavow Kathy Romano's version.
Did Steely Dan didn't win the next year for that though, right? Because I know that they won album of the year, but like Jack was it Jack the Speed? Jack of Speed?
I don't see any
Jack the Off?
Steely Dan on here for record of the year.
Yeah, they won album of the year.
Kamakiriad. Right?
Whatever the name of the album was.
Right.
All right. Well, anyway, with the Grammys just recently, thought it would be kind of nice to go through and look at the history of record of the year. So there's some good stuff on there, man. And it's a good, repository to go back and look at songs. You're like, oh, I forgot about that, and I should listen to that.
And you realize how eclectic the selections were over the years.
Yeah. All right. So anyhow, we do need to take a break. I saw one of our friends who's here. We need to get him in here and talk to him. But I also want to give away a $25 gift card for the Piccadilly Inn in Shamong, New Jersey. They include, by the way, when you get their wings, they include reheating instructions with every order so that your food is fresh and hot and delicious. Whether you pick it up on game day or schedule ahead, we'll take caller number 15. I'll give you a $25 gift card, 215-263-WMMR, and you can visit the Pick on Facebook for all of their big game specials. When we return, Steven Singer's going to be in here.
Yeah.
He's bringing some goodies with him. And we might do a little contest or something in a minute. So hang out, and then we're also going to have comedian Kelsey Cook on the program. We'll be right back.
Back on 93.3 WMMR.
Thank you, Kathy. You know what I'm going to do, Steve? I'm going to get people on hold right now to play a game, even before we start talking to our
Wow,
next
look
guest.
at you.
Yeah, because
you loose cannon.
He's brought some stuff to give away. So we're going to play a little game here at some point. So call right now, 215-263-WMMR. We'll put you on hold, and we'll see if you can play to win possibly a 24-karat gold dip rose from our good friend who happens to be here right now, Mr. Steven Singer. The Love Master is with us. Good morning,
Doctor
sir.
of Love.
Nice to
is
see
here
you.
to rescue everybody for Valentine's Day.
And you
It's
have
what you do.
many
Yes.
times.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's what you do.
It is what I do. It's such a joy. We were talking this morning about old times, and I guess it was about 10, 12 years ago when we did the launching of the badge.
Yes.
And we started at I think it's 7 or 7:15, and it was 10:45, and we still hadn't gotten it. And then we went to 11:10 or so, and Pierre wasn't in yet. And I think it ended up in Jersey. I don't know what happened.
We had many of them that were never recovered.
It was
Yeah.
a complete and total screw up. And I said, well, the more it screwed up, the funnier and better it was. But it was great.
By the way,
it was absolutely great.
Bill Weston, who is now retired, has cited that as one of the most tense, nail-biting, nervous moments of his entire radio career, because at one of the ones we did actually was heading towards the airport. which was
I remember.
a
He got the
federal
flight path.
violation.
Yeah. His hair turned. That's when his hair turned from black to white.
Yeah,
Silver,
one of them
yes.
started almost landed on the highway,
Yes.
and so Bill had legitimate concerns, and we didn't care.
We
but,
found
you know.
many ways to screw that up, and that was pretty funny. Yes, I love
Maybe
that.
someday.
Yes.
We'll see.
We'll see.
Yes.
We'll see if it returns.
Yeah, we got a
Warriors
new
are
guy. He's young. Maybe we could bring him in. Like I said, he could probably take it.
Listen, obviously we know we've been mentioning the roses the past couple of weeks, getting everybody set for that. But there's another thing that we wanted to talk about today. You and Nick McElwain are involved in this really cool event. It's a Special Olympics Pennsylvania Polar Plunge.
Hold on, hold. Before you say me and Nick, it's not me and Nick.
You're not
Nick, I am not diving in anything. I am not going in anywhere. I am not doing anything.
No.
Nick is doing everything, all the heavy lifting. We are just sponsoring it.
All right.
Because I have shrinkage and I don't want to. I'm not going in a pool or water.
You are being your normal, generous self, though.
Yes, I will be generous. But
Yeah.
Nick, this is 100% only Nick.
Yeah, I'm doing the jumping into the polar plunge, and so this is at the ballpark on Saturday. But Steven has very generously and kindly offered up a really cool prize for anybody that wants to join our team. So, Preston, do you want to go over the details? You want me to?
I mean, yeah, go ahead and mention because this is your gig,
Right,
You
yeah.
know?
So it's called the Polar Plunge, and basically, if you are thinking about taking the plunge, as as in getting engaged with somebody,
Which I recommend you don't do. That's a stupid thing to do.
But join our team because we are going to give away a Steven Singer diamond engagement ring. It's called the Ready for Love.
No, let me tell you something. We're going to do something better.
We're
doing something better.
Crazy
than that.
bastard.
The Delphine?
Right. No, we're going to do something better than
Are you
that.
serious?
This is what we're going to do. We're going to, whoever's going to contribute and be part of this contest and is ready to take the plunge, we're going to do, they could come in the store and have one of our designers design the ring for them for free.
Wow.
They could go online where you could build your own. It's called Build Your Own Ring, where you can design it yourself and have it shipped to them, or come in the store and pick it up. Or they could do what Nick just said and use our Ready for Love collection, which we have gorgeous rings that are all set up and ready to go, and they can pick one of those, and we will help guide them.
And all they have to do is take the plunge.
All they have to do is take the plunge.
Steve, they don't even actually have to take the plunge. They just have to sign up for Team WMMR.
I did that.
Exactly.
Yes, so I signed up.
So you could win.
I could win. I could remarry my wife.
Well, hang on. Let's clarify this. So
Yes.
people sign up on your team,
Team WMMR.
and then they are qualified to win this?
That's correct.
Okay.
That's all they have to do.
Okay. So if you're considering an engagement, if you're thinking about, like we've said, taking the plunge, join up with Nick, and you'll have the opportunity to possibly win a gigantic part of what you're planning being completely taken care
And
of.
we're going to take a walk up on Saturday morning. So I'm going to get there around 10 a.m. on Saturday morning. So if you come to the ballpark on Saturday, and it's this weekend, the Polar Plunge for Special Olympics. And the great thing about all of this is that all the proceeds go to this fantastic organization and Special Olympics. And everything that they do for all of their athletes, it's all free. They don't have to pay for equipment or training or time on the field or any of that kind of stuff. So the reason they're able to do those things for their athletes is because of events like the Polar Plunge on Saturday.
This is controlled water, by the way. When Kathy, when we did it in cruddy river water.
Yes.
So
this is a pool.
They were cutting holes in the ice.
In the ice,
so
and it's
people
going to
could
be.
go in.
It should be nice weather on the weekend. Yeah. So absolutely do it. Or even if you can't make it, just be part of the team.
And Nick, how do people contribute?
They can just make a donation right on PrestonandSteve.com. So sign up for Team WMMR. It's called Special Olympics Pennsylvania Polar Plunge.
Okay. Boom.
And you can do it right there. And then you're entered to win that
Because
engagement ring.
Steven Singer Jewelers wants to make it not Steven Singer's a cheap rat bastard, but Steven Singer Jewelers is very philanthropic, and they're going to make a nice donation.
So let me just reiterate this again. WMMR.com to sign up and donate, even just donate.
Just donating.
I mean, Nick, you'd like to have some company, I'm sure.
We want people on the team.
But simply by donating, you'll be in the running for a diamond engagement ring for your significant other.
Yes.
Or yourself. Maybe you want to marry yourself. I don't know.
That's it. Stranger things have happened.
You can go to WMMR.com and get on that and do that now. That's awesome, man.
You are a
It's
good
going
man,
to be great.
Steven
Can I
Singer.
tell you something? I had my staff yesterday started to complain about you guys.
Yeah.
I had Preston and Steve complain.
Okay.
I said, what the F? What's the problem now, right? What did I do? I didn't go on the show yet. What is the problem? They said, well, first off, every time you go on the show, we have some type of a kind of whatever, and you always do something else that we didn't plan on, and now we have to make that work.
Right.
So they yell at me that they're going to yell at me about this engagement ring thing. I'm going to get in trouble for that.
You changed it, yes.
And then they said, then you give out roses to people at the station and like that, and you always, whatever it is, you always screw that up. Then we have to give out displays for the build a bouquet, for the people at the station. Then whatever happens, because when you're on, we get an influx of calls. So now we have to have everybody working, even the people that are off, all over to handle all the calls, all the emails, texts, whatever's going on, all the orders online like that, because you guys are so damn popular. Then your fans are so loyal and so good that we get this really big influx. And we can see it. We get on a little heat map and a little bump from your popularity.
No, we only get popular when you come on, and then the ratings tank.
Well, I think they probably want to see what you're going to do to torture me every year and to do it. But I want to thank you guys for, first of all, letting us be, I think it's 18 years, 19 years, something like that.
Longer, right?
It's like whatever it is that you came over to this station. Thank you for letting us be a tiny, tiny part of it and letting us participate. And we love your fans, the show.
Thank you for your support.
And it's been a great ride.
Well, we're loving it. I mean, and it continues on. So
Yeah, why are you saying it like this is it?
Yeah,
I
it
was
sounds
like,
it's been a great ride.
Because he's going to skip.
Steve and I are doing a Thelma and Louise after the show. We're driving right up the cliff.
We're going to
And
drive off into
this is it. We're just that we've had enough.
Off to Ben
We're
Franklin.
done. Yes.
Well, we've whipped up a little contest here to give away some roses.
Malibu pink, the
And
hottest
that is
color.
the new color. Yeah.
Malibu pink, the hottest color ever.
I love that. That's my first time seeing it close up. Thank you, Steven. I got a rose, Steve.
Oh, my gosh. I think he's sweet on you.
Love. Actually smells nice.
Yeah.
All right, so we're going to get some callers. We already have them on the line, and we've whipped up a little contest. It's called the Magnificent Seven, and it is iconic jewels, jewelry, amulets, and pendants from classic movies. And I'm going to give you the name of the pendant or jewel or amulet, and then I'm going to give you a list of movies that it possibly comes from. If you identify it, you win a gold rose.
Nice.
That simple. All right, so we're going to go to Megan first of all. Hi, Megan. Good morning. Megan, are you there? Oh, hang on a second. Let me try this again. Oh, they're not working.
Are you kidding me?
I saw as we were getting ready and we were talking to Steven, a thing happened over here. Marissa came in and Casey is now hitting a couple of buttons. Let's try this again. Now we have her. Hi, Megan. Good morning.
Good morning, Ed.
Good morning to see you. All right, Megan, I'm going to run this by you. It is a amulet or jewel from a movie, and then I'll give you a list of movies to choose from. You give us the right answer, you win, okay?
Okay.
All right, it is The Heart of the Ocean. Is it A, Lance Blowhole, deep sea cardiologist, B, the Marlin of Wayans, C, Master and Commander, or D, Titanic?
That would be D, Titanic.
You are correct. How did you ever get that? A gold dip rose for you, Megan. Hang on the line. All right, we'll go next to Kimberly. Hi there, Kimberly.
Hello.
All right, Kimberly, we are going to try this out on you. I'm going to give you the jewel or jewelry and then a list of movies to choose from. So the first, this is it. The piece, the jewelry of the amulet is the headpiece of the Staff of Ra.
The headpiece of the Staff of Ra.
Is that from A, Sinbad and the 7 Interesting Coincidences? B, Kumanji, the pretend exotic sounding word? C, Raiders of the Lost Ark? Or D, The Curse of the Mummy? C, Raiders of the Lost Ark. That is correct.
How do they do it?
Oh my God, crazy.
Amazing, Kimberly. You get a gold dip rose from Steven Singer Jewelers. Hang on the line. And Kimberly just hung up. All right, we'll go next to Brian. Hey there, Brian.
Hey, how's it going?
Good, Brian. All right, we're playing the Magnificent Seven. I will give you the jewelry, and you tell me what movie it's from the list that I have here. So it is the Isildur's Bane, or also known as the One Ring. Is that from A, Stick Your Finger in Me? B, The Fellowship of the Ring? C, Bajmir, Lubricator of Uranus? Or D, Jason and the Argonauts?
It is B.
D?
No, he said B.
B.
Fellowship of the Ring. That's right.
Oh, Steven, they're good.
The One
Your
Ring.
audience is so smart.
So savvy.
Amazing.
How are they figuring these out?
Next, we have... who's here?
This is
Randy.
beautiful music.
Hi, Randy. Good morning.
Good morning.
All right, Randy, we're going to try this one out on you. You ready?
All right.
All right. The Mockingjay Pendant. Is it from A, Enter the Hidden Fist? B, The Hunger Games? C, The Peckish Pranks? Or D, The Famished Feats?
B.
The Hunger Games. That is correct.
Astonishing.
From all those choices.
Yeah, they picked the right one.
Able to get it. It just blows me away.
I mean,
All
it's
right.
difficult.
We'll go next to Kevin. Hey, Kevin.
Good morning, It.
All right, good morning, It. If Kevin gets this right, this is our last one. This is our last rose to give away. So here we go. Kevin, name what movie this amulet or jewelry is from. It is the El Corazon. It is a huge emerald, by the way. Okay. So it is A, the Jewel of the Nile. B, the Jewish Gomer Pyle. C, Romancing the Stone. Or D, Tungador, taco liquor of the Chihuahuan Desert.
I'm going to say C.
C, Romancing the Stone. That's correct. Oh my God.
It's uncanny, their ability to divine the correct answer from those very likely options.
They're so smart.
Yes.
All right, congratulations. And yes, you get the gold dip rose from Steven Singer Jewelers. And like we told many people, those sell out, man.
They do.
Well, not only that, we're going to upgrade everybody that won. Since nobody got a wrong answer, we're going to give a Build-A-Bouquet display with it. So we'll upgrade them to the Fresh Rose scent and a Build-A-Bouquet display so they can start their collection with a Malibu Pink Rose, the hottest color going.
By the way, it was you that made that call. So when your workers get pissed off at us, you added that on. We did.
You're damn right. And you guess what? I don't care. I just blame it on you.
You own the place.
Yeah, exactly right. I say it's your fault.
That's right.
Well, a reminder, if you make a donation or join Nick for the Polar Plunge for Special Olympics going on this weekend, you will be in the running for a diamond engagement ring from Steven Singer Jewelers. And by the way, did Jason Kelsey, did Travis Kelsey ever take you up on that diamond engagement ring?
The other day at the Grammys, Taylor Swift said, I have a big announcement. And she goes, I want to tell everybody. And my wife said, this is it. This is it. She's going to say it. She's going to say Steven Singer Jewelers. And I was waiting, and she talked about her new album. And
you missed. Later on, she talked about Piccalilli.
Yeah, but I will say this. We are on the Kelsey Brothers podcast, or we're starting, I think, in April, something like that. And I'm sure that Jason Kelsey must. I mean, we have billboards outside the stadium.
Backyard.
I'm
sure he knows who you are.
And we know a lot of players and coaches. One of the coaches is customers. And anyway, so I would assume he knows. I don't know him personally, but I assume he knows. And our PR person and their PR, somebody knew somebody, and we asked them first. We didn't want to upset anybody. So we'd like to make this offer, and obviously they can afford whatever they want. They don't need us, and she's probably the most popular person or well-known person on the planet, besides being gorgeous and talented and smart and all those other things. So he said, but we will give $1 million to the charity of their choice if they want to pay for it. So
$1 million.
They can either take the ring, which I would assume they probably won't do, or we will build her or make her any ring that she wants. And we've designed a ring based on my Taylor Swift expert that looks like this.
It looks like a.
It's an emerald cut diamond, 7.5 carat, handmade in platinum.
It's got a whistle on it.
And I'll tell you, just because of this has gone out in so many publications, we probably sold 30, 31, 32 of these.
Oh my God.
Not this ring.
Okay.
The 7?
No.
Okay.
Let me calm down.
Like, damn,
a much
dude.
smaller version
All
for
right.
Swifties that want to have that same ring,
that's
but
cool.
in an affordable price. And if I sold 30 some of these, I'd be retired.
Yeah,
I'd have
you
my
wouldn't be here
plane.
playing this
I'd
game.
fly here in my helicopter to get here, but no.
All right. Excellent. Well, listen, it is great to see you as always, sir.
Thank you so much.
Yes.
To you, the show, the fans. We're so happy to be part of it. I love being part of the charity with Nick. It's an honor and a privilege. For the
We love
last
you.
18,
You're the best.
19 years.
He's the master of love, Steven Singer, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for being here.
He is the master.
IHateStevenSinger.com. And he's the guy with his web ads have been interrupting your porn for the past couple of months.
And he just sold $10 million.
Yeah. All right, our next guest is on the line. We need to talk to her. She's awesome.
Ever heard of Jerkmate?
And Steven Singer comes in right then and there. No, she has actually got a gig coming up at the Event Center at Live Casino and Hotel.
Great venue.
Friday, 8 o'clock is when the show is. And last time she was here, we just had a great chat, had a really good time, and
She's
we were
awesome.
happy to welcome Kelsey Cook to our program today. Hi, Kels.
Hi, guys. Hi. Thanks for having me again.
Of course. Nice to see you once again. You're a crazy busy person, man. I was looking at your schedule and the gigs you're playing and the specials you have and all the podcasts and all that stuff that you were involved in. But you look so bright and sunshiny and ready to go.
How the hell is that?
Yeah.
That's so nice. Thank you. I definitely don't feel that way. I don't feel the way I look, but I moved to Minnesota a year ago and it's so insanely cold here, so I feel like it's become some form of Botox. Like it's just my face is
it's a cryogenic sort of thing.
Yes.
I have to ask about that. You did a great bit, and I want to know if this is still going on about this tornado warning system.
Oh my God.
Please explain what happened, because I'd never heard this as a statewide thing. Tell people what you encountered.
Thank you. Yes, I hadn't heard of this at all. I'm from Washington State, and so we do not have a tornado warning system. But when I moved to Minnesota last year, nobody gave me a heads up about this. And I just woke up one morning to like World War II sirens blasting outside my window, like coming from outside. And so I raced downstairs in my underwear thinking that like it was like the apocalypse, like we needed to just like grab our things and leave.
Right.
And my boyfriend, who is actually, I know you guys have had him on the show many times, Chad Daniels.
He's great.
He is from here. And so he was just looking at me like I was insane. He's like, what are you doing? I was like, well, like, this is it. Like, I love you so much. Like, I guess like we've got like 10 minutes to live. And he was like, no, like this is just what the city does to test its tornado horns every month. And I was like, well, that would have been nice in the welcome packet. Like, why would nobody give you a heads up? But like people who live here, I think just the more I've talked about it here, people are like, oh, we just thought that every state does this.
I thought for sure every state I've lived in has like it's usually the first Monday or Wednesday of the month.
Statewide?
And it's statewide and they'll run it but it's
but in the middle of the night?
not the middle of the night. It's usually like a noontime thing when I hear it. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. And comics typically sleep in. So for me, that was like my morning alarm.
So Washington doesn't do that at all?
No.
Wow. That must have terrified you. Yeah.
Yeah.
I can imagine. Yeah, because what would be your natural assumption? This is clearly we are at war. Yeah, something's.
Of course.
Something's
Of course.
going on. Yeah.
Yeah, I thought it was like The Last of Us actually happening in real life. Like
the fungus has infected everyone, and the clickers are outside the door.
Siren.
Yeah.
So how are you digging your time in Minnesota? I'm watching Fargo right now. Like I'm like balls deep in Fargo right now, and
yes,
it's a an interesting show. But I mean, how close to Minnesota is any of that stuff?
The accents are definitely real, and I'm so grossed out that I'm starting to have one when I drink. And I'm like,
really?
How did this happen? Yeah, but it's so hard if you're around the people who are from here a lot, and then especially if I start drinking, I'll be like, oh yeah, like it just starts to
Do they perceive you as, because sometimes it happened, and Preston can recount a story, because I do dialects, and we had a photographer in here one time who was Russian. And so I just started speaking that way.
Yep.
Do the people, when you're doing that, perceive that as mockery, or do they believe that you're being converted?
I think they are probably psyched to have other people on their team, because I don't think a lot of people want to be on that accents team.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, it's great overall. It's just funny to me how I feel that the people here have Stockholm syndrome with their state.
Yeah.
Because they love it so much, and they don't think that the temperatures here are that bad. It's still been minus 20 with wind chill this winter, and everybody's like, oh, it's not a bad winter. This is so easy. This is so nice. And I'm like, this is insane. Like the fact that I don't know if you've been downtown here, but the buildings are connected by tunnels.
Yeah.
Right? Like bridges and stuff. And so everybody's always like, oh, it's not bad. Like you can just use the walkways in the winter. And I'm like, oh, so you had to turn your city into a gerbil playground? Is that what I'm understanding? Like you think this is normal?
Yeah.
So it's just I feel like people are in denial here of what's really going on.
I went to Minneapolis one time, and I was fascinated by that. It wasn't in the wintertime, though. But the only other thing I was impressed with, and mind you, I was in the 20s at the time, is they had a really great strip club there called Deja Vu. I don't know if it's still there or not. You're
Deja
right?
Vu.
Okay.
It's still alive and popping. It's still a lot of traffic outside of there. But
And I went to the nightclub where Prince, that was featured in Purple Rain. I don't know if that still exists or not. That was a big deal too. But and Paisley Park's out that way, right? Isn't it? Yeah. Prince's
old estate. Yeah.
Yes. I haven't been out there, but I've heard about it. But
it's now a museum, from what I understand. At least they have some museum hours. You can go visit this. Basically, it's essentially the Batcave for people who are fans of the music, because apparently there's a lot of cool stuff, weird stuff.
Yeah, I've been meaning to check that out. And it is a great state a lot of the time. It's just, it's winter for so long. And I found out once I got here that it has some of the highest state taxes, which Chad conveniently failed to mention before he asked me to move my life here.
That blew my mind as well. That you would figure that you'd at least get some sort of reimbursement for almost freezing to death.
Yeah.
That's what I said. I feel like I should get paid to live here. If not by the state, then at least by Chad. But because I moved from Washington State where there are no state taxes. And so I did the math. And now when Chad and I get into fights, I just remind him that being his girlfriend costs me $38 a day. Which is the actual math.
$38 a day. You did the math. That's great.
Really funny. Well, I mean, congratulations to you, because I know, as far as like trajectories are concerned, a lot of times stand-ups will end up in LA or New York to cut their teeth. I don't know did you choose either of those two?
Yeah, I lived in LA for 6 years, and then I was opening for Jim Norton on tour, which would take me over to New York quite a bit as well. So I kind of bounced back and forth there. But then, at the end of 2020, everything was so shut down, of course. And I ended up moving back to Washington State for a little bit, and now Minnesota. And I do feel so lucky that touring has been going so well that I can live, in a city that isn't LA or New York and just travel out of there.
Kelsey, forgive me if you're tired of telling this story, but I was having some fun on your Instagram the other day, and the story of the person in the audience who loves your boyfriend, I found fascinating. It's a series of videos, and you guys paced it out really well, you and Chad, and then the person in the audience. Can you relay that for our listeners?
Sure. Yeah. So I had shows in San Diego a couple weeks ago, and I did a joke about how if I see a woman hit on my boyfriend now, that I I just turn into the cast of Jersey Shore, like that I get very territorial.
Yes.
And there was a couple in the very front row, and the woman in the couple was kind of being like extra reactionary to what I was saying. And so I said at one point, is my boyfriend my boyfriend is my boyfriend your favorite comedian? And then she was like, yes, he's my favorite. We've seen him at least 8 times, like just like really kind of going on. And I was like, oh, okay. And then she's like, he's hot. He's so cute. He's so funny. He's so hot. And I was like, okay. And I was like, well, I think this is the first time I've had it at my show where somebody is making it clear to me they want to bang my boyfriend. And so she kind of just like kept going. And then I took my hoop earrings out, which I can't believe I had hoops on at the time. That was like such a fortunate situation. And then her husband's sitting right next to her as she's like being like, oh my God, he's so hot. He's so cute. And so I said, sir, how do you feel about this? And he goes, I think your boyfriend has a restraining order against her. And I looked at her and I said, oh, has he blocked you on Instagram? And she goes, no, he responds. And my face just like just stone. And I like grabbed my phone and I started to like call Chad. And then I aborted on the phone call because I was like, well, if this goes poorly in public, this is going to be really uncomfortable. Oh my God. And people in the crowd went crazy. I feel like people were like, Jerry.
It was great.
And so yeah, that video went insanely viral. It has like almost 13 million views on TikTok in like a few days. It was so crazy. I had no idea that it was gonna take off like that. But Chad and I talked about it on our podcast, Pretend Problems, that week. And I just was asking him like, so, like what's going on there?
Well, listen, I think we asked this last time, and I'm not sure if we did or not, but you're very attractive as well. You're a lovely couple. Are you the recipient of unwanted attention from a fan base?
Yeah, occasionally I would like to say I generally have a really great fan base, but I will say that my following on Facebook has gone up quite a bit in the last year, which I feel like is the home of like male olds, and I have said on stage, Chad is in his 40s. We have a little bit of an age gap, and I joke on stage about how hot I think it is that he's older than me, and that has not helped. Not helped my cause. And so actually I had an older guy come through the merch line recently and go, hey, if your boyfriend ever dies, I'd love to take you out. And I'm like, we're not at like a hospice stage in our relation. Like, why did he just go to like, if my boyfriend perishes? But I think like some older folks think like, well, this is.
Think about it. So what a guy hears is daddy complex, and she plays foosball a lot. Right. This is like Nirvana. This is a dream. Right. So, but let me ask you on a basic level. Because, and we've talked about this before, where both people are in the same sort of career, especially an entertainment career. Obviously, you have a good relationship. You moved to one of the coldest places on earth to be with him. Does envy or jealousy in the career-wise, rear its head now and then, or is it because it's a natural thing? I don't think it'd be something that would naturally occur now and then, no matter how good you were at suppressing it. Do you know what I'm saying?
Sure. So, Chad and I are, I think, two of the most competitive people I've ever been around. But I will say, I feel so fortunate that we actually do not feel competitive at all with one another in our career, because we're just in like completely different places on different paths. He has been doing comedy for 25 years, and I really look up to him as a comedian. He is my favorite comedian. He is so incredible, and he has such a long-lasting, huge fan base. He has his own success, and then I have my own success as well. And we just, like, anytime something good happens for the other, we feel so excited for each other and know that it only helps our relationship, frankly. Like if one of us is successful, it helps the other be successful too.
So I've been married for a while myself, and I can spot in other couples when there's that thing, I think, that I would tell anybody, if you can laugh with if you can sit on the couch with that person and watch TV and laugh, that's really the core of everything, and have a good time. And you guys seem to have that vibe. And with the podcast and everything, is that sort of a therapy for you as well?
Totally. So like I mentioned, it's called Pretend Problems. And so we've kind of used it as this platform where we'll be very open about like if we had a fight that week and how we worked through it. And also, just talking about light stuff too, stuff that happened on the road. And then we take questions from listeners and give our dating advice to them as well. And we're having so many people come up to us now after shows or writing in saying like, oh my God, thank you for talking about the fights you have and like how you work through them, because people don't see that often. Like Instagram gives you the shiniest, most perfect version of everybody you see. Most people aren't like posting, when they like went head to head in the parking garage over something that didn't,
you don't want that. Yeah, you don't want that out there.
Yeah.
Well, you're very candid, and I watched an interview with you where you're talking about your mother dealing with sort of a dementia issue, and I thought it was so well done, and you were so. I want to say the word comes to mind, inviting, but that's how I felt for people who might demur from talking about such issues with other people. You were kind of opening the entree to that conversation. And so, but I knew it probably took you a while to get to the point where you could do that.
Yeah. Thanks so much for saying that. My mom has had dementia now for 3 years. She has something called frontotemporal dementia. Sure. And I was very, very private about it for the first maybe like a year and a half, 2 years. It's such a dark thing to talk about. And, I really struggled to find a way to open up about it outside of, just like friends and family. But I started to, because I felt like it would actually help me to connect more to people. Like it would make me feel less alone. And it's similar to like the Pretend Problems thing where people are like, oh my God, thank you for talking about this. I have a lot of people who are going through, their parent having dementia or a family member having dementia now telling me like, oh my God, thank you for talking about this on stage. Thank you for talking about this on a podcast. It can be such an isolating feeling, and there's not a cure for it. But if you can at least know that other people are going through it, I think that truly does help so much. And it's helped me a lot too.
It's funny. We're kind of living in the age of the fully realized comedian. There would be this wall. And I think now because of podcasts and because of also this, you can dip your toes into this side of communication. Obviously, you're hilarious, and that's why people are going to go see you. But it is kind of a cool thing to have because that perpetuation of the monolith that never has a human side. I think that's kind of eroded at this point.
I think so. Yeah. I mean, and it's a personal choice to get that person on stage, but I do talk about her dementia now on stage, and she's always been my biggest fan. And I think trying to find like the ways that I can to cope with it and any like glimmer of humor, she would want that. And and some of it is, I try to make it all still just talking about how like amazing and smart and funny she is. But like, I think I've mentioned on the show before that my family and I are like champion foosball players.
Yep. We had a big discussion last time.
That's right.
You are like, again, as you said, world level competitor.
Oh, thank you. But my mom is in the Foosball Hall of Fame, which is so wild. And every time now that my mom gets a new nurse, the nurse will always ask her about her life. And my mom always goes, wow, I'm in the Foosball Hall of Fame. And every nurse goes like,
oh, that's sweet. That's sweet, dear.
You know what I mean? It's like, I feel like those things are worth talking about on stage. It's like, they are funny. It's like, it is dark, but my mom is that cool that saying things that most people with dementia are just like pulling out of their ass.
Bless your heart.
Kelsey, where is the Foosball Hall of Fame, by the way? Do you know?
It's in Las Vegas.
All right, you need to go there. You got to take a picture of Mom's plaque, and you got to have a picture of her with her all the time. Maybe make a little necklace out of it or something like that.
Yes, she's amazing.
Was she also
That's awesome.
competitive with ping pong? Was she, or is it? I heard that was attached. Was she a ping pong player as well and champ as well, or?
No, we stayed pretty much
just foosball. Okay, because the rumor was floating around. I didn't know if that was because at this point, foosball.
Wish.
Yeah, that's amazing.
I wish.
No,
yeah.
Foosball is a great game. You just don't see it as much anymore. You can't. It's hard to find.
When you watch Kelsey play, my wife and I were watching some of the videos last night because she loves the game and could probably kick my ass at it. But she's like oohing and eyeing over your methodology. Yeah. I mean, you are. It's just like a machine, and she's pointing out all the mistakes your competitors are making, but I love it. I love that this has become a thing. Obviously, you have your comedy and all that stuff. At some point, maybe, you'll be back out on the road with the foosball tours.
We'll bring it to, let's get a table in here next time. I have one.
Very nice.
We can get it here and we'll play next time.
Oh my God, I would love that. That would be incredible.
You'll destroy me, but that'll be fun.
I gotta put some money down.
Yes.
Done and done. All right, so Kelsey's gig at the Event Center, live casino and hotel, and it is Friday at 8 p.m. You do not want to miss this show. Tickets available at axs.com, but it is wonderful to talk to you again. Thank you, Kelsey, for coming on today.
Thank you guys so much for having me. It's always great to talk to you. And Chad says hi.
Excellent.
Nice.
Tell him give him our love. All right, Kelsey Cook, everybody.
Yay!
We're going to take a break. We're going to come back in just a moment. You know what? Should I? Yeah, I should give away another one of these. Our friends from Piccalilli Inn stopped by, brought us some fantastic food, and I can give a $25 gift card to caller number 17 at 215-263-WMMR. And don't forget about making the trip to Piccalilli. Make it a big game tradition for you and your family. Call now and schedule a pickup for all of the Pick's best game specials. You can follow them on Facebook, world famous Buffalo Wings, Tails, and Ears. Caller 17 will set you up. We'll be right back in just a moment. Stay with us.
Preston and Steve.
And that's your traffic on 93.3 WMMR.
Thanks, Kath. I want to reiterate this real quick because this is really cool. Steven Singer was here a little while ago, and Nick is doing the Special Olympics Pennsylvania Polar Plunge on Saturday at Citizens Bank Park. If you would like to take the plunge with Nick McElwain and you happen to be thinking about becoming engaged to someone, Steven Singer Jewelers is offering up an engagement ring for one lucky Team WMMR member. And you can either join Nick or you can simply donate to be in the running for it as well. So go to WMMR.com and all the information is right there. And by the way, the plunge, where at the ballpark is that taking place?
I don't know.
Okay.
This is my first time doing it, and so I'm getting there around 10 in the morning on Saturday, but the activities start on Friday. I'm there on Saturday, and that's when we want you to stop by where our table is going to be. MMR is going to be down there, but I'm not exactly sure where the plunge takes place.
They've done it before there, yes?
Yes, they have.
Because they were showing footage of it, and it looked like it was on the Broad Street side.
But I'm not sure.
Yeah.
So I don't want to speak out of turn.
By the way, for the polar plunge, 61 degrees on Saturday.
A, B, Preston, again, as Nick pointed out, I'm a member of the team. I donated. And so you can do it that way if you don't think you can brave 61 degrees.
So just keep that in mind, though. If you know someone, by the way, who's getting ready to pop the question, then please go to WMMR.com, have them sign up or have them actually join to go and plunge, and they might win a diamond engagement ring with Steven Singer.
Yes, so. I mean, which is, I'm sure, worth a lot.
Absolutely. All right, let's do the B-File. Here we go.
WMMR presents Preston and Steve's Bizarre File.
All right, brought to you by Liberty Safes New Jersey. It's time to replace your bank safe deposit box with a Liberty Premium Home Safe at Liberty Safes of New Jersey in Bordentown or Mount Laurel, and online at libertysafesnj.com. This is a follow-up story. There's not much of information that has been gleaned, but it's worth repeating, I think, in the Bizarre File. A heavily armed man who was found dead at a Colorado mountaintop amusement park last year.
Yes, yeah.
Had researched mass shootings online, but investigators haven't determined why he amassed such an arsenal or didn't follow through on whatever he was planning. The body of Diego Barajas Medina, who died of self-inflicted gunshot wound, was found in a bathroom at the Glenwood Caverns Adventure Park October 28th in a building that houses a ride that drops 110 feet into caverns. His body was surrounded by alcohol and weapons. The words, "I'm not a killer, I just wanted to get in the cave," were written neatly on the bathroom wall. The discovery led to the belief that Medina, who entered the park when it was closed, could have been planning to launch a deadly attack at the attraction. But 3 months later, his intentions remain a mystery.
I'm not a killer. I just wanted to get into the cave.
Yeah. The sheriff's office said in a written update on its investigation, it was unable to recover any motive for Diego amassing such
Was he anticipating long lines?
Such a lethal arsenal, nor did it explain what happened to change his mind and why he did not follow through on whatever he was planning. Despite the 911 call's description, no alcohol or illegal drugs were found in his system, and there was no evidence that he had been working with others or as a member of an extremist group.
I think it's the power of the cave.
He also didn't have a criminal record or any known ties to the park. Friends, family, and school officials described him as a bit of a loner. In the end, Diego took his own life in the women's restroom at the amusement park for reasons known only to him, the report said. The family has never spoken publicly about what happened. He lived with his mother and brother, was dressed in black tactical clothing with patches and emblems that made it look like he was law enforcement. He had a semi-automatic rifle, semi-automatic handgun, multiple loaded magazines for each gun, as well as several hundred rounds of ammunition, and he had real and fake homemade explosive devices.
So he was ready to do something.
Yeah, both guns were determined to be ghost guns, so they didn't have a serial number. They couldn't be traced, but they don't know what he was planning or if he was actually going to do it or why he didn't do it. It's weird.
Probably never will at this point.
It's like that. You remember the Vegas mass shooter? They never were ever able to find out why that guy did what he did.
So there are loads of investigators and private detectives that have been hired by the families.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of information out there, but there's been no cohesive. Why does a guy do this? How does that happen?
Yeah, it's really weird. All right, a lighter story. A sheriff's deputy in Florida responded to a call from a member of the public about some bears in the road and arrived to find, now this is in Florida, a pair of Kodiak bears.
What?
A species found in Alaska.
Well, how?
The Okaloosa County Sheriff's Office.
We got on the wrong plane.
Said.
Jeez, I didn't know there was another Miami.
They said.
You going Miami, Ohio?
They said the caller told dispatchers the bears he spotted did not appear to be Florida's usual black bears. Turns out he was right. The cubs were technically about 3,614 miles from what would normally be home in Alaska.
Oh, Jesus.
Kodiak bears are a subspecies. You're in Florida.
Holy Christ.
Yeah.
Listen, this coat is too heavy for Florida.
Subspecies of grizzly bears unique to the islands of Kodiak Archipelago in Alaska. They are among the largest bears in the world, weighing up to 1,500 pounds.
So I told you I was traveling over the bears when we were in Alaska on a tram, and from way up high, they look like the size of cars.
So the friendly and healthy Kodiak cubs were turned over to the Florida Fish and Wildlife Conservation Commission, which made the cubs made sure they were transported to a secure location for safekeeping. While they conducted a thorough investigation into
we might as well go to Epcot.
How they came to be on the side of the road. The cubs were found to have escaped from an inadequate enclosure at a nearby home of a man that the sheriff's office described as a, quote, self-proclaimed bear trainer.
Jesus.
So the owner of the bears is facing wildlife violations.
Okay, I got one of those invisible fences
as well. So here's another Florida story. A nurse out of Florida, the male nurse, Jason Haggerty, has been accused of touching himself while taking an Uber home. Officials say that not only did he engage in this inappropriate act, but also left a little mess in the vehicle.
Oh, he finished in the back? Left a little something for you.
The driver picked tips in the back.
I call it goober.
The driver picked Haggerty up Saturday night and drove him from Tampa to St. Petersburg.
Want to go see the Bears.
It was during this trip that Haggerty allegedly displayed and touched himself. Now, the driver does not speak English as a first language and says that he did not know how to tell him to stop.
Yeah, I think I could make my point clear.
But he did record the events on his phone. To add insult to injury, in order to keep working, the driver said he had to clean up the mess.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Haggerty has been charged with and released on his own recognizance.
Jesus.
He is not to use the rideshare services while the case is pending.
But again, it's a bad review, right?
Yep.
Because the driver can review you as well.
That's true. All right, and then one last story. And while criminals in Alabama have been known to steal just about anything, church flower pots, giant fish, and a 1,000-pound statue of John Belushi, to name a few, thieves in Walker County may have topped them all. On Friday, Brett Elmore, owner of WJLX Radio, took to social media to announce that someone had made off with their 200-foot-tall radio tower.
They stole the radio tower? Holy hell.
God.
From a site in Jasper. Elmore added that his building on the property was ransacked and that every single piece of equipment inside was stolen.
So if you're talking scrap, right? If you're scrapping that, or is there copper in that? Or is it just a regular scrap value? I'm curious.
I don't know, but whoever stole it is lucky they were not electrocuted.
Yes.
Because there is a lot of power going through those things. But it may have been, maybe it's a small AM station that has to power down at night or something like that. I don't really know. But
that's insane.
It seems unlikely that no one touched a radio tower. No one noticed a radio tower rolling down the road.
They had. There's no way they had to dismantle it.
They would have to.
Yes, there's no way. It's a 20-story building.
Anyone with information on its whereabouts is asked to call the Jasper Police Department.
Where are you going with that 200-foot tower?
Yeah. All right, and there
Where'd you get that 200-foot tower, Kenny?
Where is that, Kenny? All right, and that's what I have in the bizarre file for you. All right, last $25 gift card from Piccalilli Inn. And we will take caller number 14 at 215-263-WMMR.
Lily legs, Lily.
Piccalilli has got your wings, your tails, your ears, all that stuff for the big game and more. And try their crab soup.
Mm-hmm. I'm going to do that.
I'm highly recommending that.
Everyone's raving on it.
Yeah, I'm training for Fridays.
You should.
You need to place your order now, though. You can choose mild, spicy, or hot buffalo, or honey and hot and honey, garlic parm, Jim Beam maple, and more. Mm-hmm. Piccalilli Inn, Route 206 in Shamong, New Jersey. So we'll take caller number 14.
Shamong.
Thank you. At 215-263-WMMR. All right, we'll come back. Lesson, question, trash, music, news, those things on the way. Stay with us. Blind Melon, 93.3 WMMR. It's everything that rocks. Every time I play that song, I feel the need to comment on the weather just because it's called No Rain.
Yeah, that's right.
And I guess so. No rain. None in the forecast at all. Today, tomorrow, Friday, Saturday. None of that stuff. It's looking great this week. We're going to have temperatures from where we are now in the low 40s all the way up to 60 degrees by the time we get to Saturday. It's good. I mean, we do want a little cool blast by the time we get to Cardboard Classic on March 1st, and a lot of times we do get that happening.
So I checked a long term forecast, not the Farmer's Almanac, but it suggests we will be right in the pocket for the Cardboard Classic.
Beautiful.
Whether that holds up, I don't know. Doesn't matter. They make snow.
Sponsored, by the way, by Springfield Mitsubishi, and also we've added a Best Tito's Handmade Vodka Sled category. And it's $1,000 up for the winner of that.
That's awesome.
And we've had some partnering brands in years past, and there's always some great sleds that come along with that. So maybe focus in on that, and maybe offer Marissa Magnata a ride on that sled, because she is by far the biggest Tito's fan I've ever met. And she is game to ride on sleds. I've seen her.
She's a titan, man.
Ride on many of those. So all the details available at WMMR.com. It's March 1st. And Montage Mountain. It's a wonderful place.
Kathy's debut.
Her debut.
At Montage. As the Snow Queen.
As the Snow Queen.
So we're looking forward to it. And all the information at WMMR.com/cardboard classic. So take a look. All right, lesson question time. We're going to give away a free massage or facial, and that is from Hand and Stone Massage and Facial Spa. The question that we will, okay. I'll ask this and see if you know this. Steve's recipe for an effective CPR includes 2 French kisses and a what? Okay, at least we're giving you the 2 French kisses. 215-263-WMMR. Let's see if you know this. Steve's recipe for effective CPR includes 2 French kisses and a what? 215-263-WMMR. Call right now.
The trash business is a gold mine. 93.3 WMMR with Preston and Steve's Hollywood Trash.
Brought to you this morning by CBS Media Arts Center. Train for a career in broadcast media, web development, social media marketing, and filmmaking at CSB Media Arts Center in Cherry Hill. Visit GoCSB.com. That's GoCSB.com. What's up this morning, Steve?
Well, Dove Cameron and Måneskin lead singer Damiano David made their relationship red carpet official at the Grammy Awards Gala. Cameron boasted to Photogs that she has, quote, played with some Måneskin for a skin. Yeah. Know what I'm saying? Jeremy Renner suggesting in a recent interview he would consider returning for the rumored new Avengers movie. Renner says he is not thrilled, though, with the choice of villain Snowplowness.
No!
And finally, Kim Kardashian and Ravens receiver Odell Beckham Jr. continuing to spark rumors of a relationship after being seen at a number of high-profile events together. In addition, Kim has been complaining about jock itch on the bridge of her nose. Hollywood Trash.
All right, let's see if someone knows the answer to this question. Steve's recipe for effective CPR includes 2 French kisses and a what? 215-263-WMMR is the number. We'll go to Seth and see if he gets it right. Yo, Seth, morning, bud.
Morning, it. How you guys doing?
Morning to see you, Seth. We're good. All right, so 2 French kisses and a...
handy?
A handy is correct, yes. Hang on just a second, bud. You got it right. And we are going to give you a pair of tickets. No, we're going to give you a free massage or facial from Hand and Stone Massage and Facial Spa. Don't forget, love, pamper, repeat this Valentine's Day at your local Hand and Stone Massage and Facial Spa. You can get a free massage or facial gift card with a spa package. Yeah. Search for the location near you to pick up the perfect gift. Restrictions apply. See the spa for more details. I created a monster. I know I did. Sorry about that. All right, music news.
Now, Preston and Steve's Music News on 93.3 WMMR.
What was that?
That's Casey.
All right, let's see what I got here. I didn't put these in any particular order, so let me just... All right, I'm going to leave with this one. I thought this was pretty cool. And Casey, you told me about this, actually. Dead & Company are going to be playing 6 additional shows in Vegas at the Sphere.
Oh, you know what? I was talking to your buddy Will, who was trying to do a little pre-sale for that.
Okay.
Yeah.
What do you mean pre-sale?
I don't know. If
he wants to get in on getting tickets early.
Yeah.
Okay.
Is that the whole thing? I know you're going to do Fish out there.
I'm doing Fish. No, I'll do Fish. I don't need to go see the Dead.
All right.
So the group consisting of members of the Grateful Dead and John Mayer is now scheduled for 24 shows at the Sphere between May 6th and July 13th. Residency will feature never-before-seen visual storytelling with unique set lists for the weekend.
I'm the one who told you about it, Preston.
Oh, I'm sorry. Everybody gets so hurt if you don't get
at that moment when Nick realized he hated Preston.
On a side note, I cannot recommend more highly the conversation that Conan O'Brien has with John Mayer. He was on his podcast, and if you get a chance, watch it, because John Mayer's a really interesting dude.
Yeah?
And he's been playing with the Dead for a while, and I just found it fascinating. They have a lot of respect for one another.
Pre-sale, like Will was trying to go after,
I told you about that.
Underway now. And tickets go on sale this Friday, February 9th, and they start at $100.
At that moment when Preston realized Casey was a better friend than Nick would ever be.
$145 is what they start at.
Wait, really? That's it?
That's what it says.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah, I told you that.
Yeah.
It was at that moment when Kathy realized she was better to Preston than both Casey and Nick would ever be.
Yeah.
Do the Sphere tickets do secondary market?
It looks
stuff?
like a big globe.
Yeah.
But no, not that.
So right now, Fish Sphere tickets are, I think the cheapest one you're going to find is like $450.
Those are 2 tough words to say back to back.
Fish Sphere?
Fish Sphere.
Oh my gosh.
Try
Steven Singer's signature.
Steven Singer signature. I'm still having difficulty with it.
We'll have to play
I had a mental block. Jesus Christ.
It was from a commercial we did yesterday. Anyway, I wasn't sure how this venue was affected by secondary market. I was wondering if they'd be able to hang on to the face value only. Someday there's going to be a place that pulls that off somehow
Well,
or another.
the plan is for multiple spheres in multiple cities.
Yes. That'd be pretty damn cool.
Well, I think if you're looking to draw a business in and you can sit remember, IMAX theaters were a draw for the longest time, and then when they were just a novelty.
Yeah.
And now you have this potential venue, though it does come with a cost.
Yeah.
Billions of dollars.
Yep. Singer Phil Labonte of All That Remains says the band is finishing up a new album that should be out by June. In an interview, he said we should be done tracking by the middle of March, and that would mean the release of the first song end of March, beginning of April would be no problem. Labonte says that they are no longer with a record label, so the band is self-releasing it. All That Remains plans to tour sometime in May or June.
So they're self-releasing like that guy in the back of the Uber.
Just like that guy. Yep. New music is in the works from Papa Roach. In an interview posted, the vocalist Jacoby Shaddix said 2025 is going to be a big year for Papa Roach. It's the 25th anniversary of our first album, Infest, and we've got a book, we've got tours, and we've got the whole nine. He went on to say that you could expect to hear some of the new songs later on this year. In the meantime, Shaddix has been writing a lot for the band as well as for other artists.
I'd like to see artists start re-embracing color forms as a way to promote their music. Remember color forms?
I love those
What are
things.
color forms?
Color forms were like little they were cutouts, and you had sort of a scene, and you could peel them off and stick them in this scene, like little scenarios. You don't remember the color forms? They were...
Yeah, I do. I didn't know that's what they were called.
Color forms.
So you would have like a piece of board of
Right.
sorts that was like a forest or
Right,
something
right.
like that.
And you would take
and you could put the little
Exactly.
color forms.
Yeah.
By the way, I want to give a plug to Nick just pulled up a video of color forms. That was so much fun as a kid.
It was fun.
I loved that. I want to, it's an animation of sorts, but I want to point out a new video came out, I think it was day before yesterday, but the band that I love, The Warning.
Yes.
They have this new video out. It's this animated video. It is
Really?
awesome. The song's called, believe it or not, it's called Sick.
Sick.
That's the name of the song. It's got Cowper written all over it. But
Thanks
it's
everyone coming to the Sphere tonight. The song is sick.
You'll have to check it out.
Okay.
The animation is really, really cool.
Oh, we're looking at it right now.
Yeah. and
I
it's
like this. This has sort of an aha take on me sort of vibe.
Very much so, but all black and white, and they do some really, really cool things with it that I was impressed with.
I love those guys.
They are a solid band, The Warning. And you know what? Another solid band who we had, and I need to mention this, I didn't do it yesterday for Grammys because I didn't know, but from MM Barbecue, Larkin Poe won a Grammy.
Larkin Poe!
Really?
Yeah, it was a blues.
It wasn't during these.
No, but it was a Grammy for, it was a blues category, and I didn't find out what specific category it was, but
We should get them on again.
Megan and Rebecca, we should, just to congratulate them.
Yeah, we love them.
Jackie texts them all the time, and he will take screen grabs of the texts that he sends them, and then he will send those to me.
One of my favorite moments was Jackie, you interviewing Larkin Poe at the MM Barbecue, and Jackie, so I forget who is wearing the cutoff sleeves. Rebecca's wearing cutoff sleeves. He goes, yeah, it's great that you came out here topless.
Yes.
Yeah, you're like, oh.
And I'm like,
not topless.
Sleeveless, Jackie. Sleeveless. All right.
Sleeveless, not topless.
They won for contemporary blues albums.
That is awesome.
Yeah, it's a great record, too. So congratulations to those guys. They're amazing musicians. One last thing, the expanded 50th anniversary edition of Paul McCartney and Wings' Band on the Run album is available now. And it features songs like Jet, Bluebird, and Let Me Roll It, and of course, Band on the Run. There are several versions available in various formats. Paul himself, speaking about the underdubbed mix version, said,
It didn't work out! This is a terrible job! You should have some reverence for this! God damn it!
He's
angry.
He's so testy, and you would.
It's not what you thought he would be about.
He was the cute Beatle and seemed very nice, but he just gets so angry. So he said, when you're making a song and putting on additional parts like an extra guitar, that's an overdub. Well, this version of the album is the opposite, underdub.
You like that? You like the way it sounded? It sounds good to you?
Yeah.
You're an idiot!
The multi-Grammy #1 album was originally released in December of 1973, by the way.
So would that be your... I was a fan of Wings, certainly. Obviously more the Beatles, but...
Loved Wings.
What would be your favorite album of theirs?
Wow.
Tell me one, Wingy.
That's a good question. I mainly like to pick pick the singles out and go with them.
That's what I find myself doing more. That I like separate. Like there's no one album that I go. That's the pinnacle.
So there was Ram. There was. Man, that's a good question.
Baby, I'm amazed on which one.
Speedway or Speed of Sound. I mainly know the live version of that from
which I love.
Wings Across America, I think is what that was. Maybe, which is a great album. It's got a little bit of everything on it. So I don't know, Steve. I'll have to research that.
All right.
Get
Ask
back to you
Kathy.
on it. All right, and there you go. That's all I have in music news for you this morning. We're going to take a break. We're going to come back in a moment. We're going to wrap things up. We'll get our Tattoos Day winner, Letter Day Word of the Week, Pierre Robert, and more. We'll be right back. Stay with us. 93.3 WMMR. It is everything that rocks, my friend. About 10:51, the Preston and Steve show. And then there was Preston and Steve.
That's right.
It's just the two of us.
Joining us, ladies and gentlemen, joining us, Kathy.
Hello.
By the way, you'll need to make a little room here because somebody is going to be coming into that area, just to give you a heads up. So, all right, anyhow, today has been a very fun day.
It has.
I would like to thank everybody who helped make that possible. We had Steven Singer come by this morning, and he brought with him a bunch of Steven Singer gold-dipped roses, and we gave those away.
Reestablish his reputation as inordinately generous.
Yes, because with the Special Olympics Pennsylvania Polar Plunge coming up this Saturday at Citizens Bank Park, Nick and Team WMMR are headed there, and in order to boost the donations and the team members, Steven Singer has offered up a diamond engagement ring for those who are ready to take the real plunge, the marriage plunge.
Yeah.
So if you are interested in A, helping out with the Special Olympics of Pennsylvania, and B, possibly winning an engagement ring, make sure that you join Team WMMR with Nick for this Saturday, or at least donate to Team WMMR, and you will be in the running to win a diamond engagement ring from Steven Singer Jewelers.
It's pretty awesome.
And Nick had exactly the specific diamond engagement ring that you were going to win, all planned out. And then Steven came in and said, well, we'll do whatever we want.
We'll change it.
I just should give the information to Preston and Preston alone, and then let Steven tweak it however he sees fit afterwards.
He blew it up. So basically, Steven's going to take you to a mountain where the diamond is forming. And take you through, but I mean he added on massive value to it.
He always does.
Yeah.
He did.
Yeah, he's the best.
So there can be one that you can choose from, or they can help you design one. They'll work with you on this. So, but nonetheless, just join with Team Nick or make a donation, and our Team WMMR with Nick, and you'll be in the running for that. And thank you to Kelsey Cook, who we love. She's so cool.
She is.
She's kind of the perfect gal.
You know, she's one of her besties is Bert Kreischer. I mean,
I could totally
they get
see
along
that.
tremendously well. Yeah,
she's very funny, very attractive, very nice, really cool, even keeled, and she has got a gig. She's going to be playing at the Event Center Live Casino and Hotel Philadelphia on Friday.
Go see her. She's really funny.
And thank you to Piccalilli. So they get insanely busy this time of year, but they can take your order and they will gladly do it, and they handle it like a well-oiled machine. But you can go to piccalilli.com and get information, but get their wings, their ears, their tails, all that stuff for the game this week.
And they give you simple directions on how to get them back and get everything set up at home and reheat, and you'll have optimum conditions.
Yep. All right, today's Tuesday. Should we give this to Tuesday
All
away?
you can handle, bro.
As Pierre would say, to Tuesday. All right, our winner of a $350 gift certificate from Floating World Tattoo and Piercing is Kyla Fetter from Middletown, Pennsylvania. Kyla, congratulations. You're going to get to design your own Preston and Steve Show theme tattoo from Floating World Tattoo and Piercing at 1729 South Street in Philadelphia. So congrats to you. How you doing today, Pierre?
Good. You know the beginning of the riff you play for Tattoo? It's the Tattoo song from Van Halen. Every time I hear that, I hear Get Back from the Beatles. Could you play that?
Yeah. Oh, wait, hold on here.
Jojo was a man who thought he was alone.
Little tip for you, Ben. That's a better song. Tattoo.
Anyway, just I wanted to verbalize that after hearing that riff for a long time.
Did you ever see the Get Back?
I haven't.
Oh my God!
So the birth of that song is filmed. Paul is sitting there with his bass, and he's just playing a rhythm, and it you can't hear it at the beginning. You cannot hear Get Back at all, and he's just kind of playing along. He's literally going he's just kind of scatting, and slowly but surely. Wow. The lyrics start to come, the melody, all of it starts to come, and you see this song for the first time ever born. It's incredible. It's amazing. And then like the next day, they have the whole song ready to go.
Treat it like if it's too arduous to watch it in its There's big chunks. Treat it as a series, but absorb it all once it gets up and running. You're watching rock music history being made, and you're also walk away with a far different take on what the movie Let It Be depicts, which is this dissolution of this band that we loved, and it's more dour. There's actually a lot of laughing, a lot of fun, a lot of stuff that really makes it a celebration.
Yeah, and also paints Yoko in a completely different light too, which is awesome.
What service is it streaming on?
It's Hulu,
Apple,
isn't it?
Apple.
Oh, it's Apple? Okay, it's Apple.
Yeah, I definitely will check that out because I also want to get the re-release of Band on the Run. I saw that tour, the Wings Over America tour.
Wow.
And it was the first time any fans had gotten to see McCartney tour after the Beatles broke up. And I went down with my buddies in San Francisco and saw it. And I'll never forget him and Linda walking on stage. People had flash bulbs at that point. I'm dating myself, but there were no cell phones, obviously, and the amount of flash bulbs that went off in the arena, I think it was the Cow Palace in San Francisco, this giant array of bulbs, and at first I thought it was an effect, and it wasn't.
You're blinding me!
It's like King Kong. He turns into a rage person.
No, but they used to have those cubes,
Yeah, and they were all going off just as he was walking on stage. Wow. No one had seen him, and he only did like 5 Beatles songs, but it was an amazing thing. So I want to get that Band on the Run re-release, because on these re-releases, they'll often put in like demos and stuff like that. And I want to do another demo week with, I called some of those like under construction. I got
like the Bruce song you played yesterday,
And the Nimrod just was re-released from Green Day, and it's got a wicked version of Basket Case with none of the words.
Really?
Right. They're all different words and a slightly different tempo.
When PJ20 came out, the Pearl Jam documentary came out about 10 years ago, I guess at this point, the original title of the song Daughter was Brother.
Really?
And so Stone and Eddie are on the bus together, and it's the exact same thing that we're describing. It's just the beginnings of that song before it became what it became on the record. So they released that as a CD, and you can get the original versions. I love construction of songs and evolution of songs. I find it fascinating.
Yeah, it really is. Oh, cool.
Excellent. All right, let's do the letter of the day. Cool?
Yes.
All right, here we go.
Preston and Steve on 93.3 WMMR. Now, the Daily Letter.
All right, the Preston and Steve Show is brought to you today by the letter
U, as in Uganda.
All right, I love it. We have a word prize coming up on Friday. $500 from the Bagster.
The Bagster.
The Bagster is by far the most convenient and affordable way to help with your home cleanup. You can go buy it at any home improvement store, fill it, and simply schedule your collection, and it is gone. Clean it up with the Bagster dumpster in a bag. What's up today, ma'am?
Well, it's Double Shot Tuesday, first of all, and we got some great workforce blocks. Dropkick Murphys will be one of them. Bob Marley will be another. He would be 79 today. It's his birthday. And we will do a block of a band that you seem to like, Rush.
Oh, beautiful.
We all like.
Thank you very much, sir. I want to thank our sponsors. Preston and Steve Show is brought to you today by Duncan. The Preston and Steve Show runs on Duncan. Also brought to you by Meineke Car Care. You won't pay a lot, but you'll get a lot. Tomorrow on the program, Fox Good Day. We'll do that. It's a Wednesday. We'll have Stephen Kramer Glickman from Big Time Rush.
Oh, wow, yeah.
Gustavo, maybe?
In studio. That was a Disney show, right?
Nickelodeon.
Yes. Okay, so that's tomorrow. And then we are going to have the 2 leads from the Mrs. Doubtfire live stage show.
Wow. Yeah.
Here in our studio.
There's a piece on them in the Inquirer today.
By the way, real quick, Casey wants me to do a last second giveaway here. It is next Monday. We have, since Pierre had mentioned Bob Marley. We have a screening of Bob Marley, One Love, at the AMC Fashion District in Center City. And if you would like to go, we'll take callers 10 11 at 215-263-WMMR. And you can go to WMMR.com for another chance to win tickets to that screening.
It looks really good.
Cool. All right, that's it. We're done. Rage on. Have yourself a great day, and we'll see you tomorrow, friends. Bye-bye.
Mm-hmm.